Hello everyone and welcome to Sovereign Citizen Watch. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good day. I don't even know. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Chile's having a bad day. Man, I did my eye makeup weird. I'm doing good, despite the fact that it kind of looks like I have a black eye. I don't. Why did I do that? I didn't cover these enough. Anyway, hi everyone. I look more tired than I am. That was a makeup mistake. So welcome. Chile's having a hell of a day. I told you yesterday that he was supposed to have some kind of an appeal. He was going to get another appeal for a bond. And oh boy, did that turn out interesting. So we're gonna watch his video prior and then his video after. Some stuff happens that I don't want to spoil. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's see what I missed. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. I would appreciate it. It honestly might be a camera thing. I put on more blush than normal, I think, so I think its white balance is weird. Kingdom Reborn, thanks for 34 months, says, hey guys, gals, it's Chile time. Aaliyah Explores with 36 months says, 36 months, baby. Literally, this baby's name is going to be... Copernicus? Vanderbilt? Nicholson. That's a name. That'll count. He must have been railroaded. He's a constitutional law scholar and sues coppers all the time. I'm sure he wins, too. I'm sure he always wins. Okay. I need to turn my light down. Is that it? Is it blowing me out a little bit? I look a little bit like a zombie version of Hannah, but some people think that's cute, so I guess it's fine. Alright. So let's jump right into it. This is the video that Chile recorded prior to his hearing that was supposed to be this morning. So let's see how he was feeling prior to what happened, which we'll get into. Don't worry about it.
He's a pig.
Excuse me?
I said he's a pig.
Jose de Castro was sentenced to 180 days in jail last month for obstructing a police officer and resisting arrest.
GamerG says, bits for Chile's content. His incarceration has been entertaining you greatly. Yeah, me too. It's unfortunate too because like even in this video he'll bring up some things that I don't disagree with about like jails in general and like how clearly like the way that we fund them is like fucked and like people get treated poorly. I don't disagree. It's that for Chile, it's about Chile, and as much as he tries to make it anything else, he's clearly just upset that his grift went too far and he actually wound up in jail. Yeah, he made the news a little bit. It was just a local news story. M. Scheffler, thanks for 29 months, says, this should be great. It should be, shouldn't it? Leslie Rue, thanks for 12 months, as a full year of Hannah. Happy anniversary.
I think he really is contrite for what he's done.
So he's going to apologize to me in a minute, but that's not what he's saying in his...
This is when he had the first bail hearing when he was trying to get out. And he came and he was fake being upset. He was fake being like... I see why he got fired from Power Rangers.
phone calls.
I've made that joke many times. My mother's very proud.
In the jail. So your motion is denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a good Tallarico reference, Hannah. You're nailing it today.
Hello, my name is Chile de Castro. I'm at the CCDC detention center here. I'm an innocent man who's been incarcerated. Today is...
He's very stuck on this idea that he's innocent. No, he's not. We saw the video. He's not. He really isn't. And believe me, I'm a dirty leftist. I'm a dirty, dirty leftist. I'm the kind of person that says, a cab, right? Chile is guilty of what he was sent to jail for. He just is.
2024. Tomorrow is my appeal bond hearing to get me out of jail on a bond while I appeal the case. That's what that means. So we'll no longer be in Zimmerman's court. We will be in the justice court in front of a judge named Levitt, Judge Levitt.
Will you, Chile? I boy sure do hope that actually happens for you.
So tomorrow, listen, all your thoughts, hopes, and prayers. I would really appreciate it. You guys hit my GoFundMe, $5, $10. That's crowdfunding.
What's his GoFundMe up to these days? Oh, he doesn't even have a link in this video. That's a shame, Chile. What are you doing? What about this one? Don't have it in this video either.
Because that appeal bond tomorrow is going to be $20 grand. Guarantee it. And I'll do my best. I'm just everything for me, that my website was down for a week, so I hate talking like this because I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, woe is me, I need help, wah, wah, wah. Like,
I'm not so woe is me, I need help, wah wah wah, more I'm in jail for my own actions, please give me $20,000. Which is worse. Does he get that that's worse? It'd be one thing if he genuinely felt bad. If he was like, man, I maybe have been an asshole to a lot of people. Man, maybe I took this too far and I'm just acting like a jackass. But he's not. Not really. You're seeing some foreshadowing? It's Chekhov's comment. It'll be useful for later. Fenekagami says, hello all, after 4 months, my solar panels are finally turned on, and I'm going green. Also, just finished watching some more News' video on the 2024 conspiracy theories, and I think it's pretty good. I'm curious about your thoughts, Hannah. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to check it out.
not the kind of person
Hey
that
Trey,
I am,
how's it going?
but apparently that's what I am right now, and it sucks. You know, as a matter of fact, I've already left this journalistic report 2 other times and we're scrapping it. And I'm doing this one because my personality is I'm a firecracker. You know, I'm a go-getter. I love
Firecracker is a really interesting way of describing explosive anger.
life. I am not suicidal. I am happy. I'm not happy in this dungeon, but at least, you know, the guards are not beating on people. I don't see any abuse happening, and it seems to be a very professional list of protocols, but the protocols need to be changed through the legislature. And I've been writing a lot of stuff about my thoughts. I know
This is what I don't get. This is what I don't get. I've been saying this when we watched Chile forever. There needs to be reform in law enforcement. I agree. I agree that things need to be changed. The whole time I've been saying if you want to do that, going up to random cops and yelling at them and calling them pigs isn't the way to do it. Like, the way to do it would be through organizing and trying to actually talk to people in your state legislature and try and talk to them about these issues, get fundraising going that doesn't go directly into Chile's pocket. Like, I don't understand how people fall for this grift. It's so obnoxious. How much time, energy, and money has Chile diverted away from actual causes of, like, incarceration issues or issues with the justice system with this fucking egotistical grift? It's so obnoxious.
Video, but now I'm actually writing down my thoughts about, you know, segregation versus incarceration, and I'm trying to get all my thoughts down on paper so that we can put a book out where we can show what I'm going to do once I'm in a leadership position in government, whether that be the legislature or the governorship or the mayor of New York City. I'm going to change the system with your help.
He thinks he's going to be the governor or the mayor of New York City. Don't really know what to do with that information. I could make fun of it, but it feels a little mean, just because of how patently absurd the concept is. That's, like, delusional, so I don't know what to do with that.
Together, Team DLZ and I, we are going to change the system. Team DLZ, you are beautiful. Thank you so much for sticking by me. I mean, right now, I'm just forcing myself to have an upbeat, positive attitude because I'm going through hell. This place completely and utterly sucks. You cannot imagine.
Guys, did you know jail sucks? It's like they don't want you to go here. This sucks ass, man.
This place sucks.
Oh my god, you know who Chile is? Oh my god, I know who Chile is. Chile de Castro is live-action Bart Simpson that actually grew up. Chile de Castro's the kind of guy who in the 90s saw Bart Simpson and was like, radical, man! And, like, fucking became him, but in the worst way. He's adult Bart Simpson. That's how I'm seeing him from now on. Lady Ann, thanks for 43 months. Wow, that's a lot of months. That is many, many, many months.
It is terrible. You are micromanaged every second of every day. And right now, if someone comes in and they say lockdown,
they micromanage you in prison or in jail. Who could believe it?
I should hang up the phone immediately. And if I don't, I'll be locked in my bunk for 24 hours. And if I make the guard too mad, I'll go to the whole 23-hour-a-day lockdown with 1 hour out. Absolutely, it's got to change, and that's the thing that we have to change. So stick with me.
With Chile's personality, I have a feeling that every time he's gotten in trouble, it's entirely been his fault. Again, like I said, perfectly willing to accept and understand that, like, the prison system is shit, jails suck, people who work there probably don't treat the incarcerated very well. But I almost guarantee I would put all of my money, if there was some sort of official bet that I could somehow be a participant in, with people in the Q continuum who can see and hear everything, I would bet that every single time Chile has been told, like, you need to go to your bunk, which is what he means by lockdown. It's literally the jail equivalent of being grounded. He has to go to his bed. Every single time I think it's been his fault. He's explosively angry at cops constantly. We see it. He gets mad at anyone who does anything to him or exerts any ounce of authority. He's gotta be freaking out. Amber Pretzel says, oh, boo-hoo, let me play you a song on the world's smallest violin, Lawbreaker de Castro. Gamer G says, Chile's going to call himself the new Mandela before he's released, isn't he? Oh, Gamer G. Oh, why did you say that 2 minutes early? Why did you say that 2 minutes early? Probably because it's funnier that way.
And stay by me. We're gonna get through this. Even if they don't approve my appeal bond tomorrow, and I'm in here till July until the Nevada State Supreme Court hears this case, we don't stop. We are not going to stop. We can't stop.
Maybe you're from another universe where you've already seen this video already. You know, the De Castro effect.
I'm in here because of Terry versus Ohio. Cop got on the stand and said he was afraid for his safety, for officer safety. Officer safety now trumps all of our rights, including your First Amendment right to be pressed. I stood there with my camera in my hand. I pulled my other camera out of my back pocket. The cop clearly knew I was a journalist and I was a First Amendment auditor, but I've been posterizing these Las Vegas Metro Police Department personnel for the past year plus, and so they wanted to arrest me. And then shortly after that, on February 14th of 2024, I was arrested again for obstructing.
Chile, because you keep doing this. We saw both of those videos. Cops did not come up and harass you. Cops were at an active crime scene, or stop, in both cases respectively. And you, in both instances, went up and involved yourself. In the second instance, in the actual crime scene, I'm pretty sure you walked through a crime scene, ignoring crime tape. I might be misremembering that, but I remember there being crime tape, and then at the time me being like, is he walking directly through that, police tape? And they told you several times to please back up, as they did in every instance, and you always refuse. You are doing this to yourself. The police aren't harassing you. You are harassing the police. Just putting it out there.
When there was no scene, there was no nothing. I was up.
To be clear, yes, film the police, but that's not really what he's doing. He's using the aesthetic of that to self-aggrandize because he's still sad he got kicked off Power Rangers.
On the crime tape.
But aren't we all? Aren't we all? Overthought says, the De Castro effect, when you falsely remember being correct when in reality you never were. That's actually pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good.
But it doesn't matter. We're not going to stop. We're not going to quit. I'm going to keep coming.
Yeah, Chile seems to be under the impression that if you call yourself a journalist, or even if you are a journalist, let's give him that. Let's even say, sure, let's give him he's a journalist. That doesn't mean you can break the law while doing journalism. That's not how journalism works. Your First Amendment says they can't come and stop you from printing stories. They can't take your printing press. They can't take your computer because they don't like what you are publishing. It does not say, if you are holding a camera for reporting purposes, you can go anywhere and do anything with no normal consequences. That's what he thinks it means.
I'm going to keep coming until the legislation is changed and Terry versus Ohio is gone. Officer safety should not trump your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment right, your Fourth Amendment right, your Fifth Amendment right. Officer safety should not be the number one factor in considering Americans' constitutional rights. And that's what we're dealing with right now. And it's an absolute sham. It's an absolute joke. It's absolutely horrendous. On another note, listen, someone put together some
this part tickled me a little bit. You know how Chile's doing a bunch of crowdfunding and grifting based on his arrest, in my opinion? Someone else has stolen his identity, allegedly, and is now raising money, claiming to be him, but Chile says it's not him. So, someone, allegedly, pretending to be Chile, has raised $4,000, which is funny. I can't lie, it's funny. I talked about this the other day, I think, where there's this interesting phenomenon of grifters that don't get their own grifts. They sort of find people who already have grifts and almost parasitically attach themselves to it. So I'm thinking this, I'm thinking the medbed lady and how that medbed lady's audience are getting scammed all the time by other scammers. Like, it seems like there are scammers who are even lazy enough that they won't create their own scams. They'll find other already existing scams and, like, pretend to be the person doing the scam? It's interesting. I don't know. It's kind of like a whole little ecosystem of grift. It's kind of beautiful in, like, the way that, like, a zebra being torn apart by a lion is. Like, it's awful, but it's also nature, you know?
Their spot fund account. That is not me. So please report that
I need to find my witch hat so I'm not fucking with my hair all stream.
spot fund account. That is not me. I did not put that up. And whoever Mr. Rittenhouse is, Sean Rittenhouse, you got scammed out of $4,000. I hope that you will call the police and press charges on whoever did that. And I have some ideas of who it is.
Chili thinks it works like this.
Sorry. Not to worry. I have a permit.
Do what I want.
This just says I can do what I want.
I love Nick Offerman.
But I can't say any names right now because there's some other things going on.
There's a reason Alex Jones's audience steers his audience away from Q. Agreed. Grifters, if they are grifters, are aware that other grifters will try and grift their marks. You may have seen this if you've ever watched, like, Kit Boga or something, right? Sometimes he'll have scammers meet each other, and the scammers will usually try and warn the alleged mark that the other person is a scammer, because there's only so much, you know? They might both be carrion birds, but there's only so many corpses going around.
But listen, go and report that spot fund account for me, for us, because someone's impersonating this team and people who support
Space
Team
Ghost,
BLT
thanks for
are
subscribing on YouTube.
putting money into a total fraudulent account that's not mine. I did not create a spot fund account. I have 2 GoFundMes, and you guys know my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and Zelle, because we've raised tens of thousands of dollars for victims of police brutality, for victims of people who have been put in jail. So we're not going to stop doing that. It's going to be even bigger and better when I get out of here. You guys remember I used to say transparency app is coming? My buddy Tim over there in
You literally have a Kit Boga video paused in another tab to watch after stream, and you chose to watch me live? Good choice.
Oh, guess what, dude? It is coming. I've been working on that app the whole time I'm in
That makes me feel good. That's nice. Thank you.
I got Constitutional Law Scholar coming out when I get out of jail. You have no idea. Constitutional Law Scholar, because I've had nothing but time to sit and work on it, it's all put together now. Now I just got to go and print up the pieces and then start to distribute the game. That's what I've been doing. I have not wasted a single second of time. I'm either writing the book, or I'm creating Constitutional Law Scholar, or I'm working on the Transparency app. And Brian...
He's working on an app? How is he working on an app in jail?
Here's the deal. Knows what the...
See what I mean by, like, the delusion? I feel like he's the kind of person, kind of like the grind bro, who thinks that, like, you know how, like, you or I might sit around and just think and fantasize about things, or, like, imagine projects or something you might do, but you never really do anything with it. I think he thinks that's, like, really hard work. Don't get me wrong, the creative process and coming up with ideas is, like, its own set of problems, but it's not the same thing as, like, okay, I have an idea, now I need to do an outline and actually do it. I feel like he feels really productive because he's thinking about a lot of stuff, but he's not really doing anything with it. He's just kind of spinning his wheels on the same ideas. You know how it be.
The Transparency app is now. If you guys want to ask Brian, he's not going to tell you, but just ask him how badass the Transparency app is that I've developed. There's not a
He developed an app. How did he do it? He just did. It's a transparency app. It's incredible.
single second of the day that I'm not working on something to advance. Even if I'm in this freaking dungeon, I will not quit. I will not give up. I will not back down. I will not say die. I will continue to fight with you. So please.
You're in county jail for like 5 more months. That's it. You're fine.
If you can, I need your help. Go to my GoFundMe.
Oh, he's raised $22,000 now. Lovely.
$5 or $10. Don't break your piggy bank, but let's keep it going.
Don't break your piggy bank, but thank you for the $22,000.
Because my business has been decimated. My trifold business. I know you guys are not watching my videos because the channel.
Oh, here's the part where he actually says something that could get his channel deleted or at minimum demonetized, which is a foolish thing for him to say.
Down by half. I was getting 1 million views a day on DLZ, and now I'm getting 14.7 million in a month. I need you guys to go to the channel and watch all the videos. Go to the playlist and click play and let them all play. Just let.
That is against YouTube terms of service. Don't do that. Don't ever do that to anyone that you like. Don't do that because you think you're helping them. That is explicitly against YouTube's terms of service, and if anyone at YouTube sees this, or if it gets, like, reported to them, his channel will be demonetized immediately. Like, that's how serious they are about this stuff. They do not fuck around with monetization. If you try and game their system, they will destroy your channel. Like, you can't. That's their whole business model, is selling ads. If you devalue those ad slots by basically botting, which is what you're asking these people to do, is sort of create bots for you, then they will be ruined. So they can't allow that. They don't fuck around with that. That was really stupid of Chile to say.
Every single video play. I need your support on the Elite Lawz channel.
And YouTube knows, by the way, because they'll see that, oh my gosh, this person, these viewers are letting all these ads play all the way without skipping, and no one's clicking the ads. You know what I mean? Like, they can detect that. Their algorithms are set to detect that kind of behavior. Foolish, Chile. Foolish. What did he say to do? Chile basically told his audience to artificially inflate his numbers, which is a big no-no on YouTube. And any platform based on ad revenue, to be honest. I'll go back.
And watch all the videos. Go to the playlist and click play and let them all play. Just let every single video play. I need your support on the Elite Lawz channel more than ever before. Please keep your memberships. I don't want this to break me, my business, my partners, my employees, my friends, or this team. I will not stop. I guarantee it. Now, I know that you've heard the messages from me, and I've been a little down, but listen, I'm going through friggin' hell. I mean, I've been crying on here sometimes. You have no idea. I have not slept. I have not slept.
Also, he's raised $20,000 recently. How full of yourself can you be to be like, hey, I know you guys gave me tens of thousands of dollars, but could you also become bots for me? How fucking tone deaf.
I did not sleep last night. And now upstairs there's construction going on. They're doing construction.
You're fine to, like, fall asleep to stuff. Cruelty, that's not going to be an issue. The issue is when it becomes an abnormal amount. YouTube knows people do stuff like that. That's fine. It's just that if it becomes an abnormal amount, they detect it and flag it.
Somewhere in the building here, and you can hear it, and so that makes me nervous. When you're doing construction, there could something happen. There could be an explosion. There could be a fire. So I'm nervous. I can't help it. I hear the construction going on, and I think about it, you know. And of course, to the jail, I'm not telling them where it is or where I'm at all. I'm just giving it.
No, you're good, Harold Elberman. Like, if you're falling asleep to playlists, it's fine. Concerted efforts to artificially inflate view numbers is what is not okay. You don't have to change any of your behavior. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm not trying to make anyone paranoid. It really, really only comes up if you are intentionally trying to do it. YouTube will detect it. But, like, the number of people who just on average sit and let a playlist run, they know that. They give enough for that. It's just that's, you know, usually it's a getting reported thing more than anything else. But they do try and flag it and detect it when they can. Basically, let me just put it this way. If there was, like, a YouTuber 10 commandments about, like, things not to say, that's, like, it's in the top 3. I don't know if it's number 1. Number 1 would probably don't get naked. But, like, other than that, it's, like, it's don't say the fuck word in the first minute. And don't artificially try and inflate views. Those are the top 3.
I have to be very careful. If I don't follow the rules here to a T, they will put me in the frickin' hole. I have to be very careful what I do, which is including informing the CCDC, the third-party phone call. This is simply my journalistic endeavors, which is clearly outlined and allowed in the CCDC handbook. If I don't say that, friends and family, they can grab me and put me in the hole. They don't just put you in the hole, they arrest you and put you in the hole.
They arrest you and put you in the hole. Chili, you're in jail already. What do you mean they arrest you? Do you mean that they come and get you? You're in jail. They're not arresting you. They're moving you to wherever you're going.
So, needless to say, I'm being extraordinarily cautious with everything.
Does he think any time they put handcuffs on him, it's an arrest? To him, is a quote-unquote arrest when they put handcuffs on you?
That I do. So, I just wanted to report to you guys today, let you know I'm okay, I'm alive, I love you all, thank you guys so much for the support. Please, watch my videos, pretty please. I mean, I know I sound like a freaking moron saying that because the biggest
Did YouTube bleep moron? Jesus Christ.
thing is overturning terror.
I'm turning into a boomer now. I swear to God, when I see people, and I understand why, it's not people's fault, it's YouTube's fault and advertisers' fault for being so, like, the way that they are, but every time I hear someone on YouTube say the term unalive, I wanna Minecraft.
Gary, changing the NRS codes, you can't lock somebody up for 23 hours a day, getting cameras in the courtroom, banning torture cuffs, getting rid of the whole premise of turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Ashley says my girlfriend arrested me last night, wink wink. I hope you read your rights. If not, get a defense attorney.
You are my prisoner. That has to come to an end with the digital system that we have in place now. You can put a strap with an Apple AirPod on someone's wrist that's industrial and they can't take it off, and they're not going to go anywhere. And if they do, you can track them. They can't even get it off. Once it snaps shut, you have to have a key to unsnap it. One wrist, one little black band with an Apple AirPod in it. No one's going to get away. Then you say, look right in the camera and tell the judge you're not going to run off. Cool, I'm not going to run.
It's so wild that Chili is so, like, it's so transparent, the lies he tells, where he's like, we should have a system with no handcuffs, where everything is just like, everyone just agrees not to break the law. And it's like, Chili, you have fled from multiple charges. The idea that you are claiming that people won't run from their charges when you have run from your charges is the wildest, most transparent fucking grift. Like, you obviously just want a system where it's easier for you to run away from consequences. We're not stupid.
Run off. There you go. Just that simple. Or just nod that you won't run off. Yes, nod. I'm not going to run off. But we have this idea of turn around and put your hands behind your back. You are my prisoner. And that has got to change. And I
Chili, you are in jail!
will change it. I will run for governor. I will win the governorship.
He will win the governorship of Nevada. Sure, why not?
And I will change it. I can't do it alone. It always will be we. It'll always be we. And then when I'm the governor, I'll give you guys an inside track of what happens in government firsthand. I'll film what happens. You guys will get to see how government works.
You're amazed he tells phone privileges? Right, that's why I can't take this shit seriously. Like, obviously there are issues with jail. I've seen the inside of the jail that, like, he's talking about. I watched documentaries about it when he got, like, put in prison. Or when he got put in jail. Not a fun place to be. Has the same problems as, you know, jails in general. It's like a cold, not fun place to be. Agreed. But Chili, you can't keep saying they're tyrants when you're allowed to still make your YouTube videos. If anything, I think he's made more YouTube videos than I have in the time he's been in jail. Mine have been longer, mind you, but still, like, he's not doing his job, really. If anything, he's making more money now than he was.
Capitol building inside of the state legislature. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be beaten up by this. The moment I walk out these doors, I'm going to leave all the bitterness, resentment, and rage that I built up in here. I'm going to leave it right at the jailhouse doors. I'm going to get my butt on the treadmill, get my body back in shape, because I've been here for 3 weeks with no...
The police could just have the criminals turn themselves in. That way you don't even need coppers. True. What if I'll take you one step further. Let's all just agree, no more crimes. No more crimes. We won't even need a justice system. Wouldn't that be easier? Hammurabi, what a fucking idiot. What was his problem? It's his fault we're in this mess, you motherfucker.
Serious exercise.
This is
and
what
I'm gonna
it really blows me away, and I do want to put up another video right now just to show you what I mean. Here is we've seen him before. This is Dave Murphy. He's a sovereign citizen, flat earther, all sorts of these conspiratorial beliefs. A lot of them fundamentally really believe this, that laws are unnecessary and everyone will just behave, and it's the laws that actually cause people to misbehave. Listen to this.
I know it's silly. Okay, so, right, so what is common law? Right? Common law is actually natural law that we all know, we've all got it written on our hearts, yeah?
It's written on our hearts. Again, Hammurabi, you absolute fool. Didn't you know the law is written on our hearts? That's why no one does any crime, ever. No one hurts anyone, or takes things from other people, or commits grievous bodily harm upon one another.
But it's...
I just can't, I don't understand. Like, I think you know, I'm not sometimes I can be pretty cynical. I know that. But how can you be this far on the opposite end where you just don't believe that human beings hurt each other? Have you been paying attention for literally any of the moments of your life? Just a thought.
get right back on life. So tomorrow, 9 a.m., appeal bond hearing in Judge Levitt's court. That's in district court tomorrow. Pray for me, please. Go to my GoFundMe. Drop me $5 or $10, please. I just can't stand begging. I can't stand it. I don't mind e-begging for somebody else when we're getting them out of jail or raising money for someone's lawyer, but I just am not this person, and I've been forced into this position because the judge acted inappropriately for a first-time offender of an obstruction charge. She plain and simply acted inappropriately. And the cop lied on the stand, and there's video evidence of that.
The cop didn't lie on the stand as far as I could tell.
And then the judge fought some 21-foot rule that doesn't exist. It simply doesn't exist. So I need your help. Share the videos with your friends, and we're doing some trifold videos. You guys do me a favor. Just throw some nice comments on there, because right now all the comments are like, Chile's in jail. How are we going to get him out? We got to get Chile out of jail. And it kind of ruins the spirit of what I'm doing.
No, this call I don't think is necessarily against, to my knowledge, against their rules. The problem with that call was that he was doing it live. This is pre-recorded.
Because there's people who need to get a Fifth Amendment trifold in their car. There's people who need a Fifth Amendment cop card in their wallet.
Yes, he has prior misdemeanors. He has many not failed to appears. Misdemeanor stalking charge. On that misdemeanor stalking charge, during that case, he had a restraining order put on him. He was charged with felonies that were lessened to misdemeanors for the manufacturing and I believe distribution of GHB. But again, those were knocked down to misdemeanor charges. So he does have a criminal record. He's just lying or being very selective. When he says, I didn't have a criminal record, what he means is, I have never been convicted of a felony. He has been found guilty on misdemeanors. He has been charged with felonies. They just got bumped down due to a agreement with the prosecutor. Altered Undying says, the thing that bugs me the most about the advertiser-friendly stuff is the hypocrisy. They want to sell horror movies to people, but want the videos they advertise to not be too violent. Oh, yeah, that annoys the shit out of me. It's incredibly annoying.
And so when they read all the comments about me being in jail, then it kind of distracts them, and websites back up. It's been down for a week. Hoodies are now $50. So get a hoodie right now while you can. I want to sell these out before the end of this month, and then I won't have any again until the coming winter. But anyway, listen, I won't talk your ear off anymore. I think I've said as much as I possibly can in a very short time. I love you. Thank you so much for your support. Pray for me, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you guys.
See you on the next one. So, like I said, this morning he was supposed to have another bond hearing with a different judge. Here's what happened. This was posted last night.
All right, this is Brian from Here's the Deal stepping in for Delete Lawz. I just wanted to go live for a very short time just to give you an update. This is from our Nevada judges. I don't know who runs this website. I don't know who runs their Twitter page and all their social media, but they say in a minute order entered today, Judge Michelle Mitchell Levitt summarily denied Chile motion for bail. Tomorrow's event and live stream link will be updated to reflect the date and time of oral arguments. So it says the court, having reviewed the motion.
Oh, I should point out this live stream I've decided to refer to as the PP show of legal analysis. Because holy shit, the call-ins that happen during this are wild. None of these people know how anything works. It's amazing.
For bail, or in the alternative for own recognizance release, does hereby deny appellate's request for bail. The hearing scheduled for tomorrow, April 10th, 2020.
Unironically, one of the people call in and tell them it's Chile's fault he's in jail because when you get a mugshot, you're agreeing to the contract of jail, so it's his own fault for not refusing to be photographed on intake.
Before is vacated.
Which I'll tell you, that's what I haven't heard before, so that was interesting.
So, how many innocent people, let's not focus on Chile right now. How many?
You are absolutely using this as a rhetorical device to talk about Chile. You are talking about Chile. Chile is guilty. Chile did the thing he was accused of. He is not innocent. Stop saying Chile is innocent. He is by no definitions innocent. He was found guilty.
Innocent people are sitting behind bars, whether in prison or in jail, who didn't harm anybody for the offense they're in jail for.
They're using the sovereign citizen definition of, I don't think I personally hurt someone, therefore nothing I do is wrong.
Yeah, they're not going to hear his request. In other words, he's going to stay in jail. The bottom line is he's staying in jail. What would happen if Chile went to... Oh, that's funny. I'm going to put you know what? I don't really have much to talk about today. I was going to cover...
What do you mean you don't have much to talk? I mean, what do you do? Yep, Chile's fucked. I guess that's all. I have a lot to talk about because it's interesting trying to tear apart the levels of, delusion, and that fascinates me. I'm sure this comes off as very mean and vindictive. I hope it doesn't. I don't want anyone to suffer, and it sucks that Chile's in jail, but I genuinely find so much excitement and pleasure in hearing and trying to understand people's delusions. It's like a puzzle for me. So I want to be clear about that energy. I'm not just happy that he's suffering. That sucks. He's kind of a shitty person. But, mostly, the instigation that this allows for discussions to be had and to listen to the delusion, I don't know, I like that. Is that fucked up? Maybe.
Person they call a sovereign citizen interacting with police, but, she's pretty wild and crazy. I don't endorse her behavior. Just like, when you go to bat for a friend, and I'm keeping this very general, but when you go to bat for a friend for a particular thing, you're not vouching for everything that they've ever done in their lives. Okay. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done or what you've done. And it doesn't really matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if you come from Japan or Chile or China or
I always find it interesting when people come up with random lists like this, how they come up with what things they list.
Russia or America or Mexico.
You only have to do 3. Rule of 3s.
If you do wrong to somebody, then justice needs to come upon you. You need to be punished.
Yeah, he has restraining orders from exes who alleged that he threatened to murder them and their new boyfriends, that he had attempted to break into their homes. Again, these are allegations that were part of restraining orders. He was never formally charged outside of the misdemeanor stalking, which I don't know how specific it was in terms of the allegations of the attempts to break and enter. So,
if I do wrong to somebody, if I steal somebody's stuff, if I damage their property and refuse to pay for it, if I get into an accident and hurt somebody, if I punch somebody who didn't deserve to be punched, I need to be punished. Because obviously I am a danger to society. If I'm taking stuff that doesn't belong to me, damn it.
Right, but there are crimes that are preventative in nature rather than reactive. So obviously if you perpetrate a crime against someone in the sense of, like, punching someone in the face. That's a crime. But let's talk about something where it isn't a situation where anyone is directly, immediately hurt. Drunk driving. We don't wait for someone to drunk drive, hit someone, hurt them or kill them to arrest them. We proactively stop them. We say, you're not allowed to do this behavior, because even though it is not directly punching someone in the face, it is so negligent, it is so harmful to society and others, that you are not allowed to do it. The crime that Chile was charged with is one of those crimes. It's a crime that as a society, we generally say, hey, these are preventative things to try and keep things running, and so people aren't indiscriminately hurt for stupid reasons. He's mad about that, I understand, but that's what happened. So he can look at that from the reality of what happened and move forward, but that's not what he's doing. Instead, he's in denial. Instead, he's saying, I did nothing wrong. I've never done anything wrong. I'm Chile. I'm perfect. I've never done anything ever. I have no criminal record. Don't look it up. It's so obnoxious.
Damaging stuff that doesn't belong to me. Harm.
It's not even the lack of self-awareness, it's the denial of self-awareness that gets me. It's one thing to have a lack, it's another to completely ignore it and deny it, and it's the worst.
Harming people that don't want to be harmed. Trying to do things, force them against their...
Chile allegedly said he was going to pay a Colombian $1,000 to off them. I remember that. We actually read that restraining order the other day on stream. I think it was the specificity that cracked me up about that one. He said, I'm going to pay a Colombian like $1,000 to come from Colombia and kill you. I think it was the excessive use of the word Colombian that did it for me. Fucked up. Demibird, thanks for 16 months, says, yay, no ads. Love your streams, especially after stressful days like today. Vet visit gonna cost $1,500 eventually. That's not fun. My ass is fat, you fucking troll piece of shit.
Will to do something.
Sorry, there was a troll.
Something they don't want to do. I should be punished. That is why? Because that's the just thing to do. Well, can you prove it, Brian? Can you show me in some kind of holy scriptures or some kind of law that was written? Everybody knows this to be true.
Everybody knows. They've retreated back to presuppositionalism. If you ever find yourself in the position of presuppositionalism, stop. Find a better argument. It's not even an argument. It's a cancellation of the argument. It is a null argument. Don't do that.
Everybody, this is self-evident. You don't have to teach it to anybody. You don't have to, little kids know when they've done wrong. When they take blocks from another kid, they know.
No, they don't. You have to teach children that things are wrong. They're little psychopaths.
Know that they've done wrong. Now, they may be allowed to slide.
Oh, sweet Halloween Town.
And nobody punishes them, and now they think, hey, this is what we should do. We should take things from people.
Does this guy think that children know morality immediately? I understand that empathy's a thing and you, can develop things, but, children absolutely need direction. Children hurt other kids all the time and need to be told, hey, no, we don't do that. This hurts another person. We don't do that for this reason or that reason. The implication that he thinks children are capable and, totally able to function morally without direction is a wild understanding of humans.
Well, it's perfectly right by me. It's okay. But even little kids, little 5-year-olds, 2-year-olds, if you've ever had kids, you know that they know when they've done wrong. They know that lying is wrong. They know punching somebody is wrong. Because when somebody punches back, what are they first thing they do? That's not fair. He hit me. Well,
okay, well, consider this Chile getting obstructed back by the police then. He keeps obstructing, so now this is the retribution where he learns not to do it anymore. They're obstructing him back. Excuse me.
Yeah, you hit him too. I mean, what's wrong with championing the cause of what is right?
Because what you believe is right isn't right. I don't agree.
So he's in jail for no frickin' reason. And
again, it reminds me of the PP show. The stock isn't canceled, it's just deleted. Sure, he might be in jail and found guilty, but he's innocent. They're doing the same thing. It's a complete denial of the reality because the reality is devastating to their worldview. The consistency is comforting. I'll give him that. Stone Corbell says, I've had this conversation with people, like if we don't have religion or whatever belief system, then morality just comes from us, and I'm like, yeah, that's just how it is. It's subjective and scary, but you just have to deal with it.
People are applauding, and I'm thinking, man, no, but does anybody even care about justice?
I do. I don't think that what happened to Chile is an injustice. DM Trey says, isn't it a shame when the trolls haven't upped their insult game since middle school at least? Get Xbox 360 chat was at least creative, right? I'm not even, like, big anymore. And the parts that are, I like.
Does any...
The thing that I think, it's made it harder for trolls to be hurtful now that I like myself. So.
Anybody care about justice? Do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we say things that we shouldn't have said sometimes? Yes. Do we act in ways that we shouldn't act sometimes? Yes. Well,
do we obstruct justice from time to time and involve ourselves with traffic stops and crime scenes that have nothing to do with us beyond just trying to record the cops, but in fact by trying to self-aggrandize, by inserting yourself in every situation you come across?
That's the answer. Correct your course. Like if you're off course on a sailboat, just 1 degree, you know how far off course you are after just 10 miles? Just being 1 degree off, you're way off from where you should be. So what is the appropriate response?
Fennikagami says, on the subject of people being shit to their shit to their partners, Fresh and Fit has allegedly gotten one of the women he slept with pregnant. The woman is refusing his demands to get an abortion and seems to be seeking child support from him. Fresh and Fit had a whole Cope podcast about it where they invited some divorced guy, celebrity lawyer, to talk about how much they hate women getting money from them, and Fit had a screaming meltdown over how he's not a bad person for standing with Fresh. I'm so confused by them. Don't they want trad stuff? If you're trad, don't you want to pay for your child? No? Oh. Kind of sounds like they just want to be shitty then. Funny.
Correct your course, adjust your sails, do the right thing, correct any kind of wrong. If you got into an accident with somebody, pay for the damage, pay for the medical bills that you caused. That's the right thing to do. What's going on here? What is that? Oh, there we go. Brett, thank you very much. And Izzy became a YouTube member today. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and open the live stream because I don't really know what else to say. You know, a lot of injustice is happening to a lot of people. All I got to do is think about maybe Schaefer Cox or Jeffrey Winehouse or Kevin Strickland, who just got released about 1.5 years ago from a 43-year prison sentence that I'm sure a lot of people applauded him being behind bars when he actually, you know, DNA evidence when it came out back in the late 90s proved that he was not guilty, and yet he stayed in jail for another 2 decades after that for a total of 43 years. So there's so much injustice. It's almost, well, if you let it.
I gotta look up this meltdown now. I gotta watch that sometime this week. That sounds great. I've not actually really covered Fresh and Fit. I've heard they're terrible.
Sweep you away and take you away. It becomes super, super overwhelming. Here's a stream.
Fennikagami says, also, can I get some well wishes for myself tomorrow? I'm going in for oral surgery to get 3 teeth torn from my face. I'm looking forward to the lack of mouth pain, though. Well, I wish you all of the luck, and I wish you well. That sounds not super fun, but I hope they give you some meds.
StreamYard link, if anybody wants to hop in and state their piece. It should be in the Chile fought the law and the law won. Oh wait, did that not come through? Yeah, I guess it did. All right. So there's the link to the StreamYard if you guys want to hop on. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm not going to be here for very long. Statism is the brilliant idea that we give a small group of people the right to kidnap, imprison.
Okay, let's get to the calls.
Here, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Michael
Too
says
late.
first. See, you got. You're up.
These brilliant calls in are
Hello?
just fantastic.
Yep, you're up. You got the floor.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm almost starstruck. I just want to say, um, I think now is more than ever that we can support Chile, either with monetary if we can, but also hopefully my idea and what I want to be more proactive is in obtaining his mailing information just to send him words of encouragement. You know, I've been seeing a lot of trolls here, and you cannot have that stance on someone that is innocent. Like you said, there's no victim.
Chile is not innocent by the legal definition. He is not innocent of the crime for which he has been convicted. I cannot say that enough.
And it just paints the whole picture of how corrupt the system is. And
of course, his followers are misogynist. Oh yeah.
I mean,
throughout this, they start saying the judge was super emotional because she was a woman, even though Chile was the one having like fits and emotional outbursts in court.
at this point, no pun intended, we have our hands behind our back,
Yeah, I mean, we do.
The appeal was just for a bond, was just for bail, so I don't think he can appeal for bail again. But there is still the actual full appeal for the case that's happening in, I think, July.
I mean, it's
if they even hear it.
Like, how much tyranny do people want in their lives? I mean,
notice how they don't get specific. This is something interesting. Throughout the rest of the stream, they're quite vague about Chile's actual actions, because they can't really just say, well, yeah, he obstructed the fucking cops and he got arrested for it, and then he mouthed off in court and went to jail like an idiot. So they have to just frame it as the symbolic representations of the things that concern them. Injustice, right? Tyranny. It's not that Chile did a dumb thing, it's that he was arrested through tyranny. It's like they've replaced it in... I don't know how to articulate this, but I think there's something here. There's something interesting here in the replacement of the actual events with the symbolic representations of their grievances.
If they are okay with tyranny for somebody else, it has to...
Oh, they already denied his bail.
Follow that they would be okay with tyranny for themselves, but when the rubber meets the road and tyranny visits them, they're not going to want that for themselves.
Exactly. Even with the political prosecution in other countries, and now it's happening here in the United States, right? So
Chile isn't getting irradiated or thrown out a window. Chile was put in county jail.
And that's political. I know I'm not involved with politics.
No one knows who Chile is. I'm so tired of these guys acting like Chile's famous. No one knows who Chile is. It's weird that I know who Chile is.
Political, but this is in our backyard. You're talking, getting arrested by the police and going to jail. So this is right here in your backyard.
Yeah, and it's actually, it's in our backyard, it's in our front yard, it's inside our house. It's almost like we can't even escape this. It's really, man, I don't remember, I think it was Krishnamurti. He said it's no good measure of good mental health to be well adjusted to a profound...
You've never heard of Chile? Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's an asshole. He was almost a Power Ranger. He was cast in Wild Force and then got fired after a week for allegations.
Society, or to be counted as well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. The last thing you want to do when people are bent on accepting tyranny is be like everybody else. We need to be the light shining on a hill that people can come to when it's their hour of need. And
is he seriously quoting the Reagan shining city on a hill?
It's amazing to me how mean-spirited somebody can get when they feel like, oh, all's safe with me, everything's okay with me. It's kind of like that cliche. It sounds cliche, but it's really not. Back the blue until it happens to you. You ever heard that?
Oh yes, and that is something Chile used.
His Power Rangers dinosaur was an Allegation-saurus
to say,
I've made jokes about how bad an actor Chile is, which fair enough he is, but I went back and watched some Wild Force the other day. He would have been pretty on par with the performances that season, so apologies to Chile for implying he wasn't good enough for Power Rangers. He was probably good enough for that season.
That is the reason why I know of that is because of Chili and his channel. So, I just don't know what else to say other than, I guess my grain of salt and healthy will be strong.
I agree.
Guys.
Worried
got-
about Chile and
You got the floor.
this whole mess. You know what, though? I think, Brian, at the end of this,
Yeah, these people's whole thing is Chile de Castro is let's call him an influencer, whose whole deal is self-aggrandizing. Now, I believe that there are problems in policing and the justice system that need reform. Absolutely. The problem is, Chile uses these real issues to grift people and get himself money, and now he stepped too far and accidentally got 6 months in jail, and he's just can't believe it. He can't believe he got 6 months in jail for this stuff.
this is going
And he's acting like it's the worst injustice in human history. He compared himself to Nelson Mandela recently,
to be
which I don't think was that last video. I'll make sure I pull that up before the end of this stream so you guys can see that that happened.
a big win for our movement.
It's actually a big win that Chile's in jail right now.
It's shitty right now, but all of the stuff coming down the pike to remedy this is going to happen. And I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I hate that Chile's in jail. I know what it's like, but hey, we're in this together. So
Totally agree, man. You got the floor if you want to say some more.
oh well, I've been wanting to do my own advocacy and First Amendment auditing, but I have such.
This upsets me too, because I think that recording, like, police in the line of duty is a good thing to do. The problem is Chile does it in a way that obviously is, like, in the actual crime scene. He will go to the point where he is talking with people being questioned, which is what got him put in jail. Because he's not sitting there and recording. He's walking up and involving himself in the crime.
A disdain for police contact. The last time that I had police contact, it last few times doesn't go well.
It also doesn't help that it, like, hey, cops are cops. I think they kind of need to take what you say to them. But, like, also, if you're the kind of person who has explosive anger issues and you yell at people and call them betas, maybe stop doing that.
I have to learn to control
Because it's fucking embarrassing.
my anger first. I've got other issues, I'm a retired vet, and but my heart is there. Maybe if I found someone to go out with, it might be a different story. But I support you. I support Chile financially. I've supported all you guys financially.
The amount of money these people have given Chile. Reminder, he's raised $20,000, $22,000 last I checked off this shit.
And I don't know what else to do, but I'd like to do it if you have any ideas.
I would just say it's definitely advisable if you do go out to go cop watching and hold public servants accountable to go out with somebody. It's always good to have at least somebody else there so they can be a witness, and because it's kind of tricky if you're the only person there and you've only got one like 2-dimensional camera as opposed to like a 360 camera. It's going to be very difficult to make a case because
Chile doesn't have a 360 camera either. He just has 2 cameras.
It was already happening. I found the movement a few years ago. So I felt alone out there. I felt I knew what I wanted to say. I knew what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it because I was so angry. So I'm thinking with a little more time.
I think that's by design. I mean, distract, deceive, divide, demoralize, dehumanize, and conquer. That's a thing. So they want you to feel
a lot of D's.
Isolated. They want you to feel alone. Because if you feel alone and isolated, it's like, hey, nobody's going to have my back. Why should I even try? That's exactly where they want us.
They.
Absolutely.
Again, similar in conspiratorial thought, this idea that there's an all-encompassing they, and everything you dislike is due to them. That's frustrating. Systems. These people are so averse to systemic issues, which is so weird, because when we're talking about problems with the justice system, you have to talk about it systemically because it's a fucking system. But no, it's them. There's a mysterious them that's just making it all bad intentionally.
Well, hey, Adam, thank you for weighing in, man.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for being here, Brian. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. Craig Hendry, you're on, man. What's going on?
Hey, Brian. Not much. I just got out doing some activism myself. I saw your live stream, and I'm just floored by this news. They obviously they've just basically dismissed his appeal hearing without even hearing what he has to say. His bond appeal hearing. Am I right?
Yep.
Man,
It's his.
and
Go ahead.
I've heard a lot of the people that have just been on the last two. You know, they think that there
is he
might be something
driving?
positive. There might be
good.
a silver lining to this.
Definitely call into live streams while you're driving a car. That's really good for you.
And I do respect that outlook. I'm not dissing on what they say, but I just have to dissent from that opinion respectfully. This is so terrible, and it's such a burden on his. I mean, his anxiety's up. His health will be deteriorating in there because the food that they have in there for him is not up to par. The water isn't up to par.
Very specifically for Chile. You see what I mean? How they make this a rhetorical thing for Chile? He's not saying the food is terrible for everyone. The food isn't good enough for Chile. The water isn't good enough for Chile. It's very strange. It's become some sort of like, I don't know. Very about him. Just seems weird.
This is a scary time for Chile, for Jose de Castro. And I texted him when he went into jail, when they sent him in there, and the words that I said were, "You're an American hero." And what he's doing...
Chile is an American hero. Him? Hulk Hogan? The Mount Rushmore guys?
Is showing the people of this country what the government is willing to do, the lengths they're willing to go through, the morals that they are so unscrupulously just ignoring. To lock this man in a concrete cage, it just breaks my heart. I haven't even talked to him since he's been in jail, but it's just absolutely heartbreaking to think that an innocent man, a man who didn't create a victim,
he is not innocent. That's not how crime works.
a man who...
He didn't go up and punch someone in the face, so how can there be a crime? Let me see the corpus de black eye. 7 out of 10? Okay.
Basically, all he did was allegedly make somebody uncomfortable. And he's going to be locked in a cage for it?
I'm an American hero. I know. I am
gonna...
a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Remain in the cage. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it, people. I mean, laws be damned. What they're doing to this man, I don't care if there was a law that said they could do it. What they're doing to him.
I don't care if there was a law that said they could. Okay, that's fine. We can take it out of the realm of legality, because there are certainly laws that I don't think should be on the books, that I don't think should be illegal. This one I don't think was one of those. I don't need random people coming up if I'm pulled over by the police and harassing me. Which is what Chile did, by the way.
Is wrong. It's morally wrong. And that's the way I feel we must take a stand. We've got to stop looking at the way they interpret these laws, the way that they write the laws. It's all geared towards them interpreting it against us and for them.
Yep.
And when they do it, and when we justify with their actions by saying, well, the law says, well, then we've totally lost what made us human. We've lost our ability to interpret events with our own brain. And it's just heartbreaking to me, man. It's at least the way I'm interpreting this is just like, what if it was me? You know, what if it was me? I would be. I mean, I've never been in a county jail as big as the Clark County Detention Center, but I would be fearful, and my anxiety would be up, and you'd be walking on eggshells, and that's what Mr. DeCastro.
I don't disagree. Jail's a shitty place to be. I would agree that the Clark County Jail in particular seems like it fucking sucks. Like I said, I looked into it. But Chile isn't in there because of the judge. Chile is in there because he was doing very foolish things, and now he is taking tens of thousands of dollars from you. It's annoying to me having to talk about this, because on the one hand, I am so in favor of, like, systemic overhauls, and so against Chile as a person taking advantage of these issues to enrich himself.
And I hate it for him, Brian.
Yeah, me too. And you brought out a good point. It's like the whole reason for government is to dehumanize and demoralize anybody who partakes in it. So
I don't know about that one. No offense, but I'm not really an anarchist. I'm pretty on the side of, I think, a state, you know, is a thing that probably needs to exist. Feel free to disagree with me. But to say that a state only exists to dehumanize? Really? You think that's the primary purpose? You think someone sat there and thought, I'd like to dehumanize everyone? Or do you think that the dehumanization is maybe a knock-on effect of systemization?
I see it as a demoralizing.
You can't recognize the problem if you don't actually articulate it.
Thing when people are applauding his imprisonment, because Chile's only one of hundreds of thousands, maybe at least tens of thousands of people who are behind bars who shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I believe that number is most likely a little bit higher. I mean, hundreds of thousands probably hits the nail on the head. As most of us will know, there's plenty of people.
Imagine if these people put all this rage towards defending people who are actually innocent. The $20,000 Chile's raised, imagine if that had gone to anyone who actually had a chance on appeal, who really shouldn't be in jail.
In jail for without there ever being a victim. The only victim is the peace and dignity of the state of, you know, fill in the blank there. And Chile definitely fits into that group, and it's so shameful that it's obviously, like you say, it's been a long process, the demoralization of what, I mean, I would go so far as to say the human race, where we just overlook this kind of stuff happening, or some people, they applaud it. What's this world coming to? I don't want to get too far off topic, but I'm really starting to connect with that song, Rich Men North of Richmond.
They did it. They did it. They did the thing. They did the thing.
And it's speaking to me more and more every day. These people are evil. And the worst part about it is, I really don't think that they know that they're evil. I really wonder if they are aware that what they're doing to real humans is just so out with, like, for example, the 10 Commandments, right? They're violating, just Jesus's teachings. And I don't think anybody.
Okay, first of all, the 10 Commandments, that Moses brought those down. Second of all, that's not the basis for our legal system. Of course it's Christian nationalism. Of course it's Christian nationalism.
Everybody's calling Jesus a bad guy, even if they don't believe in Christianity. And these people are so out with.
The hog murder was over the line. Most of the other stuff was okay, though. Calling that lady a dog wasn't super great, unless she was into it, I guess. But I don't know.
Ancient moral code, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words, really, Brian.
And they don't even need 10 commandments. Let's just give them one. Do to others what you would want done to you. You know, if they thought about this deeply in their heart of hearts, because I'm sure, like you said, they probably think they're doing the right thing. It's like, we got Chile de Castro off, we got Henry in jail, and now society is all the safer for it. That's where the power of cognitive
render unto
dissonance comes
Caesar,
into
motherfuckers.
play. They got to go to sleep at night. So in order to do that, they have to justify, hey, okay, yeah, Henry was a bad dude. Chile was
That's
a
gonna
bad.
be my Jesus movie. I'm gonna kidnap Martin Scorsese and be like, I am a big fan of The Last Temptation of Christ. I need you to do a sequel. And Willem Dafoe Jesus comes back to Earth for the second coming and finds out all the Christian nationalists doing horrible things in his name and like people being awful billionaire pieces of shit. And that'll be his big action line. He'll kick in the door. Render unto Caesar, motherfucker.
Dude, pressed with rancor.
I'm here to whip idolaters and slaughter demon-infested pigs. And I'm all out of pigs.
A bad dude. We got to put those people away because we can't have them messing with our local police force who's there protecting and serving. If we got somebody against somebody who's protecting and serving, they're obviously a bad person, right? So yeah, there's heavy duty justification going on in the minds of people who are what we would call statists.
Yes, and I think it's an increasingly difficult task to forgive them, even though they might not know what they do. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do recently, is just forgive these people, because we have to be the bigger people here.
Forgive them, Chile. They know not what they do.
We cannot depend on these government officials, most government officials. We can't depend on them to be bigger people and set a good example. And that's our responsibility right there. I have got to get off of here, Brian, but before I go, I want to compliment your hat. That is an awesome hat.
It says tyranny with a thin blue line in it. Benekagami says the writer of Rich Men North of Richmond was talking about both Democrats and Republicans. It was about corruption in general, and conservatives and conspiracy theorists claimed it because they like to pretend they aren't part of the problem. Except the guy explicitly was like, I also don't like them welfare queens. So, like, not based.
And
it was general vague posting about government bad. It was not a well thought out piece of theory. It's fine if you like it, I don't give a shit, but you know, take it for what it is. Pretty generic song from a random guy.
I really, really like it. But people, please do not underestimate the seriousness of this situation. Even if you do hate Mr. DeCastro, a lot of people that love First Amendment videos really don't like Chile. And whether you like him or not, nobody can argue he did not create a victim. And therefore,
that's not how we determine when things are crimes. That's not how anything works.
He should.
Like, there are crimes, there are infractions, there are illegal activities that are detrimental to society as a whole. Again, I don't even understand how to have a conversation when they're this far off base on how things work, right? Like, that's not the basis of our legal system. It does not need, it could be anything. Anything that isn't outright constitutionally, like you can't ban this or can't stop people from doing this, you can ban random shit. Just putting it out there. I'm not saying that's right. It isn't. There's a lot of things that are wrong in our system, but what I'm saying is you cannot fix an issue if you don't even understand it. You cannot do what Chile does and think you're gonna change the system by walking up to cops and yelling pig at them. You can do that, that's fine, but it's not going to affect change, right? You can't sit here and be like, this is wrong because insert misunderstanding of our legal system here. It doesn't do anything. It's not even furthering your knowledge of the issue, so you can do something. If anything, it's poisoning the well for anyone listening to this crap and thinking it's real.
Wouldn't be sitting in a cage. I mean, you've got people in Clark County, I guarantee you, with felonies that are on a probation sentence. And you've got Mr. DeCastro in on a misdemeanor charge. He's got minimal criminal history, and they're going to lock his...
Minimal criminal history is such a fun way of saying some criminal history.
They're going to lock him up. And
yeah, and that right there sets a precedent for everybody beyond Chile DeCastro. That's what people don't get.
No, he was sentenced right in the middle of the guidelines for the thing he was charged with. Not even the harshest. So it does not set any new precedent at all.
Yes, it certainly does. It
all right,
certainly
brother.
does. Well,
Thanks
Brian,
for
I'll
weighing
leave
in.
you to it, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing this for Chile, brother. I really think it's great.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah, April, just in case you're late here, the update is that, and I'm just going to go ahead and read this from District Court Judge Michelle Levitt. The court, having reviewed the motion for bail or in the alternative for own recognizance release, does hereby deny appellate's request for bail. The hearing scheduled for tomorrow, April 10th, 2024, is vacated. So that's what's going on. Let me add Michael. Michael, you're on. You got the floor.
Brian.
Benekagami says, oh yeah, he's politically illiterate and doesn't understand the implication of his biases. I don't even care about the song. I just find it funny how people like this claimed the random average dude is one of their own, and he was offended because he doesn't understand how he accidentally attracted them, like the bat signal with his song. Yeah. It is interesting to me how there are people that walk around very not aware of sort of the symbolic significance of certain topics or rhetoric within different partisan circles. that people might be blind to but are very obvious to anyone paying attention.
How's it going?
How are you? Thanks for having me on again today, Brian.
Yeah.
Like Henry well said, my friend, I've been following you for a while, the things you've been going through. Really glad to see you today. Glad to see that you're out and about and doing your thing, dog. I kind of thought this was going to happen today, unfortunately. Simply because I do pay attention to what the hell's going on with our Black Lord tyrants and the shenanigans they're up to all across our country. It isn't all about, it's all out waging war upon our rights as citizens. So here's the thing.
This might be one of the guys who implies that we should, quote unquote, use our Second Amendment rights, which... Part of me knows the answer to this question, and I've heard it enough that I understand this, but I really gotta verbalize it. Are there a lot of people who think the Second Amendment of the Constitution says you have a right to murder the government if you don't like it enough? Because I get the feeling that some people have not read the Constitution and unironically think the Second Amendment says you have a right to bear arms to murder the government if you don't like them enough. Because it does not say that. That's how a lot of people treat it.
The call to arms for all of you ladies and gentlemen out there.
There it is.
I do believe there is a silver lining in this.
It's got a baby grand piano. That's nice.
Yes, in that.
I wish I could call people to arms in a nice fancy house with a baby grand piano behind me. You know what? Fuck it. My Blu-rays probably cost as much as that baby grand. That's fine. I'm just a different kind of shitty.
One of the things that's come to me through all of this, as I ponder after each podcast that I watch, as individuals are talking about this, I start to think...
You know what? Uncinema's your scope. Profane Priestess says, to your earlier point, what really helped anarchism click for me was realizing that government and the state are not synonymous. A government is any system by which collective decisions are made. A state is a government that comes to be characterized by centralization, hierarchy, and often bureaucracy. Anarchism, then, is to advocate for a government that is not a state. Put another way, a government that makes its decisions through egalitarian, stateless democracy. Is that why someone brought up, like, anarcho-syndicalism? The idea that, like, administrative functions would be carried out by autonomous unions and labor organizations? I'd have to read a lot more on it. That's an abstraction to me, let me put it that way. I cannot picture how that would work. I am not criticizing that idea, I am just saying I do not know enough about it to even think about how that would work. Send me any recommendations. If you have any, like, reading or videos, feel free to send them.
The numbers that are each one of these folks out here have their subscribers and their followers.
Benekagami says, keep in mind, loads of people think it's acceptable to beat the shit out of someone for spitting in your face. Oh, well.
For the first time in history, of all time, there's more eyes on our battle cry right now than ever in history, all at the same
Profane Priestess is an anarcho-syndicalist. Okay.
time. This is our opportunity, I really believe, to come together, you know, and Brian, the work you're doing is instrumental in this, I believe. The fact that you've jumped on to help support...
Sorry, I was reading stuff. I gotta go back a little bit.
Battle cry right now than ever in history, all at the same...
Thanks, Profane Priestess.
...time. This is our opportunity, I really believe, to come together, you know, and Brian, the work you're doing is instrumental in this, I believe. The fact that you've jumped on to help support Chile's channel to keep it alive, you know, bringing your folks and our folks together from the Elite Lawz together at the same platform to talk about the same issues at the same time, not different channels, but the same team. I think that this could be our opportunity. I'm not really quite the, my leadership days are a little far behind me as far as being the guy that's standing up there like Chile. He's a really passionate leader, articulate in what he's saying.
These folk talking about battle cry think they're majority of the citizenry. That's actually a hallmark of a lot of conspiratorial thinking, is that you believe that your numbers are bigger than they actually are. You see this within QAnon as well, a tendency to believe more people agree with them than actually do. This is like a human thing in general, by the way. Everyone has some sort of bias where they assume and project their own beliefs and worldviews onto others, to an extent. But it can get really bad in conspiratorial beliefs, especially when you are in an echo chamber. you get a false sense of the makeup and demographic of people's beliefs around you that aren't in that echo chamber.
You know, my prime's kind of behind me, but I do see the vision and think that this could be what we've been looking for. There's more people coming together for the same reason at the same time with the same goals. And you know, the folks that are out there, like, with those big platforms with the 500,000 subscribers.
PP show, right on. Delete Lawz show, rights on. Hits vape.
200,000 subscribers, whatever. You know, putting together a team that's actually bringing together what we're doing for action. Like yesterday, the last time I was on, Brian, I think you might recall, I said that our work requires action. It isn't a spectator sport. For us to be successful or any success to come in, people have to get off their butts and participate somehow. So, with that being said,
you ever notice that the people in this are on Chud Watch when we watch QAnon people telling other QAnon people to get up and do something? None of them do it. I mean, I guess the ones that do are probably the people who do the shooting events often, but like, it's usually someone sitting in a chair being like, do something. Should we do something? Do something.
We're lining all of this could be, we're all hearing this message at the same time all across our country. People everywhere are listening to the same message at the same time. Delete Lawz, we typically have about 500 people on it. When Chile was doing it, Brian, I think the numbers held pretty solid as well throughout, even though Chile's been in jail. Thank you again for what you've done for our team, to hold our little team together. My call might be to the leadership in our movement to...
Fascism has a point about that. Selective populism. There is in our future a TV or internet populism in which the emotional response of selected groups of citizens can be presented and accepted as the voice of, quote, the people. Oh, I see that all the time. Basically, every small special interest group on the right, politically, considers themselves the people, and they use that rhetoric in order to other people who have different political opinions, and that they do not have some sort of almost divine right to call themselves the people. Like, the term the people in our civic religion has become symbolic of what it means to be a true American. So if you disagree with people, they can't be the people because they're not real Americans. It's interesting.
Try and get together, put bygones be bygones, forget about personalities, forget about some comment that was said about that.
You see the same thing. I see similar stuff with the constant use of things like NPC, dehumanizing the other. They're not your fellow citizens. They're not your fellow human beings. They're an other. They're not the people. They're an NPC. They're a deep state shill. They're a midwit that follows the mainstream fake news programming. It's all rhetoric, like, I'm not going to say designed, because a lot of it I think is free form and just how people unfortunately group together. But I'll use the term for simplicity here. It's rhetoric that feels designed to dehumanize to the point of allowing you to kill or hurt people who aren't within your political in-group. Toreador says, fascism better than fur fascism. God damn it. More like Umberto ek uwu, am I right?
The other channel and come together as in leadership roles and let's start organizing. Chile was talking about amassing the numbers in a legion of force.
And they say there's no practicality to reading theory.
Peaceful force. That's really critical right now. You know, I'm going to come out on the street.
Hydrate. I can do that. Toreador says Mussolini.
Weaponize. I'm going to bring every weapon I have right here, pal. That's our weapons. And we need to amass these. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I don't own guns myself.
Let me get this on the transcript. He is holding up a camera, YouTube. And
yes, I am.
And he's not saying clenched fists and firearms.
Thank you, Brian.
We were talking.
He said Second Amendment. Your Second Amendment isn't a right to bear cameras. Benikagami says, of course they're like that. Conservatives and conspiracy theorists largely survive due to the human tendency to be lazy and to be too lazy to change yourself or try to change the world around you to make you better. How many of these people say, don't worry, everything will be fine, secretly we're already winning? Yeah, there is that mental inertia, the inertia of worldview, where it's easier to delude yourself about what's going on around you than adjust your worldview to new information or to do something to change the reality of the situation. It's easier to say there is no spoon than it is to bend it. I don't know. That fell apart at the end.
I got to do this because the algorithm is so freaking squirrely. You know what I mean?
Got it. Thank you so much for catching that.
Yeah.
In my passion, I sometimes forget the red menace behind us that controls us as well. So, the camera. You know, this is our opportunity, and all of us on the same platform. Chile was talking about shortly before his arrest, amassing such numbers where we could have mass sit-ins all across the country at the same time.
Again, completely delusional about the number of people that even know Chile exists, much less the number of people who would be willing to go out of their houses and actually do something. Should we do something? Do something!
And literally shut down whole organizations such as police departments or sheriff's departments or court
Thank you to anyone who gets the reference, by the way.
houses or whatever, just by sitting in peacefully. And if it's done all the time, you know, I was really worried for our future some years back, thinking that it was going to require the red stuff that comes out of us when we are injured on the streets to make change. But I believe for the first time in history, the peaceful approach actually might work because of all these eyes that are looking at it right now, today, right this minute, across the country for the same time, all different groups, all these channels. My call is to the leadership in our 1A communities. Let's find some people that can pull together some group activities. We're out there talking about it en masse.
Yeah, and just to clarify, you said so that we can all get together and unite on one goal. The goal is pretty simple. We just want to be left alone. And if
exactly.
Leave us alone when we break the law, please.
If there's going to be a career path, a professional choice, and an action on the part of police departments, then it should be to nab criminals to make the community safer and actually protect and serve. If there was going to be, you know, so yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that. And I think James Freeman set the example and did a good thing when he put out that live stream saying, hey, nobody hates Chile more than I do, but man, the guy's in jail for no freaking reason.
Class act, huh? That was a really class act on his part right there.
Yeah. So Michael, I really appreciate it. I'm going to bring on BIP. He's been waiting in the background for a little while. Thanks for weighing in, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Take care. BIP Solar Bear.
Looks like he needs supplementary O2 to cross the street, and he's talking revolution. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the MAGA TikToks whenever they get mad. Half of them look like my fucking dad. Like guys in their mid-50s with goatees and some fucking hat because they can't be asked to fucking do their hair or figure out how to look good. Get out there and do your Second Amendment duty!
You've got the stage.
Aaliyah says this. Oh, I read that.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Hey, before you say something, let me address something real quick. Government flu put in people acting like this is new. LOL. Guess what? We should always act like an act of injustice against any one of us is new. We should never be desensitized to the fact that there are tyrants who want to take away your freedom. No, it's not a new thing, but we should treat every occurrence like this never happened before. We should look at it.
Weird that Chile didn't do that until it happened to him.
And he
keeps raising money for him and no one else.
Foreign to our way of life, our culture, whatever you want to put it. Anytime.
That's actually not true. He has raised money for other people before, but I think he allegedly took a little bit off the top of that.
Time and injustice,
which isn't ethical if that's true.
This happens against anyone, anywhere. It's going to happen against all of us eventually, everywhere. So yeah, we should look at this like it is absolutely brand spanking new. Go ahead, Solar Bear. Sorry.
First off, I want to say I hope the judges have the day that they deserve. I echo what Craig Henry said. It is overwhelming. I take it to heart. I feel it in my blood. I get depressed. I get angry. I experience all the negative emotions when you see something happening like this. Um, but I will say, being somewhat newer to this community, that I think what Chile's goal was to educate people. What better way than to
If Chile's goal was to educate people, hasn't he demonstrated that he's really bad at it? Because his whole thing is selling people trifolds to learn your rights so you don't get arrested. And yet he's been arrested multiple times and he's in jail and awaiting trial for further things for the same exact charge. He's clearly a failure at this. Why would you ever take his advice? He's in jail.
educate people
His advice is specifically to keep you out of jail, and he's in jail. Does that not indicate to you that maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about?
on the tyranny within the judicial system? And now he has the opportunity to get it from the inside and tell those people's stories and maybe when he comes out of this affect change in a way that he never thought.
Yeah, because
So
basically they're inadvertently lending credibility to his statement that we are ruled by tyrants. They could have, you know what they could have done? They could have gone, no, you're not ruled by tyrants. Come on, we're going to be fair with you. But they couldn't be fair with him. Very interesting.
yes, and it's just like I don't understand what it is with the police officers, the judges that want to see innocent people who have had no victim, created no victim, what their obsession is with locking everybody up. Is everybody a criminal in their eyes? I don't
Nope, just the ones found guilty.
understand it.
Chile was not some random guy who was just walking down the street and got pulled into jail. That's what they're acting like. Like he was just walking down the street. They're like, you're coming to jail. That's not what happened.
And that part is a struggle, but I think what the previous person said, arming yourself with a camera, and I'm too busy to do any First Amendment auditing right now, but when I go to the DMV for normal business, you better believe I'm recording.
Oh, they don't like that.
And just stuff like that. I'll take the opportunity when I can to put eyes on the government. And I think if we all do that, it
What's this? You'll soon be able to watch Commander Riker play D&D alongside other Star Trek actors, and it's for charity. Oh, that sounds fun! Todd, Stashwick, and other celebrities are teaming up to play D&D in a charity live stream, which will be on Twitch, so even if you weren't lucky enough to snag a seat at the table, you'll still be able to enjoy the hilarious hijinks from afar. That's cool. That sounds fun. Todd Stashwick, who played Captain Liam Shaw from Star Trek Picard, is the Dungeon Master for the season. Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, who starred in Daredevil as Karen Page, Michelle Bird, who played Rafi Massacre in Star Trek Picard, Will Wheaton. Okay, that sounds fun.
adds up and
Fenekigami says, addendum to my previous statement, I think the demand from others to do something also speaks to conservatives and conspiracy theories' sense of self-importance. They basically see themselves as thought leaders and think they deserve to have others die for them rather than die for others. Look at January 6th. It was only with the backing of the president they had the courage to do that. Look how offended they were that the cops tried to stop them, that one of them got killed. Yeah. Did I see there's an Awful Ancient Aliens video game? I saw it exists, but I don't know what the gameplay it looks like. Might have to play it on stream sometime.
I think that's
a public records requests.
What do I call? Do I call you Solar Bear or BIP? What do you want to be called?
You can call me whatever. Solar Bear is fine.
All right, Solar Bear. I think you brought up a really good point, because anywhere you are, we've seen time and time again when the cop does not know, like, for example, a dash cam is rolling, and then they find out, all of a sudden they start crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and they start acting right. So unfortunately, people who are dishonest.
Oh, mobile base building? Well, that sounds lame.
Have to be held to an honest scale by, exposure. So that's a good point. Anywhere you go, if you've got a video camera, just before you go into the post office or whatever.
What's he scamming now? Chile's been arrested. He's in jail, and his second appeal, just got denied, so he's still trying to raise money off of it.
Or just hit record. You might not catch anything, but you might. And always, no matter where you're at, make sure your dash cam's going.
Lately, I've been playing 3 things that I think encapsulate the games I like pretty well. Starfield, please don't judge me. Assassin's Creed 2, and Cookie Clicker. Those are my 3.
Yep. And I will say, I think change happens slowly. I was just watching Auditing Erie County's video where the police were following him out of the building, and then 2 other citizens came up and supported him and started filming the police, and the police backed off so quick. That was great to see. So
Yeah.
I think if we start seeing more stuff like that, people will take back the power, and that was very refreshing to see.
I definitely think that's a start.
I want to get to Sovereign Citizen Lady. There's an actual Sovereign Citizen that calls in.
Seemed like a day later, maybe 2 days later, that someone actually realized that his court case was actually filmed and broadcasted.
Bad spot in America. People make sure I get home safe.
Yeah, and then if you want to come back in, Rafael.
The courts, the executives, they don't understand that we are the people and that we always win. The camera will win. So I want to encourage everybody for that. I did want to speak.
Chrissy says, Starfield is such a good foundation for a game. I just wish there was more. Some good mods have come out. Yeah, that's basically what I'm waiting for, is I'm just leveling up and doing all the quests while I wait for mods to release for console, because I play on console, and, like the add-ons and DLC and stuff.
A little bit on another...
Like, the mechanics and stuff are there. They just need to fucking populate it with more stuff.
Point of our First Amendment. You know, we have our First Amendment right to press. That's a big portion of what this
Chile wasn't arrested for filming. He was arrested for obstructing.
Movement has really...
The cop literally said he could film just to, like, move over there and stop talking to the goddamn driver.
Been about is to really...
Which he only did after the cop already told him he was under arrest or that he was going to question him.
Free the boot from this officer.
Same problem No Man's Sky had at first. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping. I'm hoping they'll add more stuff, but if not, mods will at least be fun.
Safety garbage.
In fairness, I'm having fun with it now. It's a mindless podcast game. Like, you know, I've been to the same base a bunch of times, so I go through, I grind, you know, items and XP, and it's fine in its own way. I just wish there was more content.
And so I wanted to speak on the petition part. You know, a lot of people call it redress, grievances. It's the same thing. We're talking about our right to ask for a change. And the change we're asking for, it's the things that we see as a problem, the things that we see as our issues with the government and what we want changed. And we want that. And
No Man's Sky devs got to work, Bethesda has not. Can't argue with that.
And we want it is because we recognize that it does not match up with natural law as afforded to us.
Natural law is not a thing. It's not a thing. I've seen this in conspiracy circles all over the place in the last few years. I'm sure it's been around, it's just when I became aware of it. Natural law is not a thing. All they are trying to do is take their personal ethical moral code and say, everyone already believes all the things I believe. It's the laziest form of ethics, is to just say, I don't even have to think about it, I just know it already. Whatever I do, that's moral. And anyone who tries to tell me I'm wrong, you're wrong. It's disgusting.
Us through the foundation, the Declaration of Independence.
Toreador says, I know that the judge is speaking legalese in that the denial of appeal, but it comes off as being a little chilly.
Don't be afraid to
Have they fixed the hollow ship bug yet? I'm actually not sure. They did a big update that was just like bug squashing. Like it was like 500 different bugs they did, so it's possible. I haven't had that glitch, so I can't speak to it.
Call them. Tell them.
Natural law would be like objective morality of sorts. Yes, presuppositionalist objective morality at that. Not even just that it's objective, it's that everyone internally knows that objective morality, so even worse.
From the...
A complete lack of moral consideration at all. Scary.
Highest level to the lowest level.
It's like moral solipsism. Moral solipsism.
Don't be afraid to call them. And they're going to try to run some smear campaign on you. Let them. Let them put your voice on the internet. and then you'll have the full recording because you record. Always record them too, so that when they try to put you out as a smear campaign, then you have in your arsenal, if anybody asks you, yes, I have the recording, the full recording. If they clip it up, chop it up, you have the full recording to release. So always record them, make your petitions known. I want you guys to make sure that you follow up with your auditors. They do the job out there. You can do the job at home. Make the calls.
Oh, hell yeah, chicken bacon Swiss. That's great. My Monkey Shines is up here with my favorite slasher collection. I consider Monkey Shines to be a slasher. He's a monkey that slashes. I'll count that. My Mario's downstairs. But yeah, the Mario one is great. Umbrella puts out really nice sets. This is George Romero's, who you might know from Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead fame, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. Anyway, he did a movie about a killer monkey, and it's surprisingly really good. Like, I know you're going, like, killer monkey, that sounds cheesy. It is cheesy, but it's really, really fun. Would recommend Monkey Shines. Please watch Monkey Shines. It's really great. They're abusing Lockean, philosophical concepts, torturing them to fit their idea of what is natural in law. Yeah.
Ask for the change. You see something, say something. That's pretty much it.
Brick,
Oh, I should point out, the Monkey Shines disc is from Australia. It's an import, but it is all region, so you can play it on a American Blu-ray player. Okay.
Appreciate you coming on board, man. Thank you.
Yeah, brother, man.
Take care. Okay, Cesario, am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Hi, Cesario. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much. It's great to talk to you.
Can't have a true freedom unless you have an ultimate citizen through which natural law has been revealed, Darth Castro.
Big fan of your
That's
channel
pretty
and
good.
what you and Chile are doing. I don't agree with everything you guys say, but you guys have all taught me a lot. I'm very grateful to be on this call with you.
Awesome, man. The floor is yours.
Well, where would you want me to start?
You just tell me what's on your heart, man.
Your problem is you're so old, you're more familiar with Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero might be my favorite live-action Joker. Not a joke. Not a meme. Not a meme. Love me, Cesar Romero.
Okay, I wanted to say this to anybody who would listen, how rigged the court system is in my personal...
My ideal Joker would be a live-action Joker that acts and talks exactly like Cesar Romero, but actually stabs people.
Experience.
But I don't want the personality to change at all. I want it to be exactly the same as Cesar Romero's performance, but he, like, does modern Joker stuff.
Okay, I was charged with a DUI, and because they couldn't get me on a DUI...
The dissonance.
They ended up getting me on a DWAI, which that was completely rigged. So, I mean, it's a very long story, but if I just go with the court process, this is what happened to me. I got an attorney.
Can I cut in real quick? What state was this? What state?
Colorado. I live in Denver.
Anywhere? Okay, Denver. Okay,
I live in Denver. Yeah, I'll be specific. I live in Denver. So, as corrupt as can be, those guys are.
Okay, I want to go to the sovereign citizen lady. Where is she? Please tell me. Please tell me why.
Good night.
There she is. All right, let's watch this section with the
Chile
sovereign citizen, and then we'll move on.
And sharing your story. All right, Lady Tech. Lady Tech, you're up. You have the floor.
Hey.
New Joker trailer. I thought it looked good. Sorry. I feel cringe for saying that, because I know some people didn't like the first Joker movie. I liked the first Joker. And I think the new one looks fun.
Hey, Brian.
I'll almost certainly enjoy it.
And I want to say...
I get it. I've also seen The King of Comedy, which is a better movie than Joker. But Joker was fun. And I won't apologize for having fun at a movie. Fuck you.
Thank you for everything that you do for the community out here. I don't usually chime in on things like this, but I decided to go ahead and break my silence just to let people know that you're approaching it completely wrong. Chile could have remedied this matter if he just didn't process.
Yep, here it is. She's claiming just refuse to get processed at the jail and they can't arrest you. Does she think no one's tried that before?
If he just didn't process when they took him to jail.
Just don't. What is he, stupid?
Explain what you mean by that.
The new one is a musical, apparently. I'm excited about that.
When they take you to jail, they're creating a contract.
No, they're not.
It's a contract. And you give them everything that they need. You give them everything that they need to lock you up.
Okay, take us step by step. What should Chile have done?
Okay, so when you go to jail, they bring you in the big room where everybody's at for processing.
Mm-hmm.
They ask you a question. They even ask it nicely. They say, "Can you come over here and take this picture?"
They're trying to be polite because we're social creatures, and even in unfortunate situations like that, hopefully you'd try and, there's an underlying expectation of compliance because you have to, but they're asking you because it's nicer to ask you. Like, I'm not good at reading people's intentions at all, but even I know that. Even I know that they don't literally mean, "Oh, can you come here?" They mean, "Come here now," but in a polite way. Oh.
"Come over here and stand by this podium, please." That's the first stage of their contract. They have to have
not a contract.
Your likeness. So they take your picture.
So what should he have done? Not walked over there?
If he would have charged them for the photographs.
You should. Oh, I see. You can take my photographs for $10 billion.
They wouldn't have took them.
We can't afford $10 billion. They got us.
And how do you do that?
What's funny about this is this doesn't even apply narrowly. Sometimes sovereign citizens will try and say ideas that are pretty narrowly applicable, because even they recognize if they said, like, you can get away with murder, that's ridiculous. But this lady, basically, this is blanket for any crime. So, like, Charles Manson could have been like, "No, I'm charging you $10 trillion for this photo. You can't." And they'll just be like, "Okay, we gotta let you go." Misunderstanding of how interactions between people work and how authority functions. Like, there's a lot of mental and social stuff behind authority, but, like, at the end of the day, if all of the people here are like, "We have power over you," and they can apply that power, they do, even if you feel that that's wrong, even if it is wrong, they still have that power, right? Power isn't intrinsically tied to being morally correct. It's like they're doing might is right, but, like, in a weird way, where you can't have might unless you are right. Does that make sense?
That.
You just... Me, myself, the way that I do it, I'll run you through one of my arrests. They bring me in, they sit me on the slab with everybody else that needs to be processed.
Can I ask you a quick question up front here? What were you in for in this particular case that you're describing?
I was kidnapped. I've been kidnapped 2 times from my county.
Arrested. She means arrested.
Kidnapped by cops?
Mm-hmm.
Did you refuse to get a photo taken? How did that go?
Okay.
I was kidnapped.
Just world fallacy, yeah.
Once for about 24 hours, and then I was kidnapped a second time for 28
They can't do it because it would be devastating to my worldview.
days.
And what was their reason for taking you? What did they say?
They were actually trying to clear their books of my name.
What?
I don't understand that.
Like they had a warrant out for your arrest? Is that what you're trying to say through weird, vague language?
Okay, let me explain. I am so glad that I had the opportunity to talk to you, because I remember you cried out in one of the videos saying that you want to understand this stuff. And for the past 8 years, I've been building a school for this stuff.
Oh boy.
Because there's so much information that you need to learn before you can be free.
Do you have a website?
I do. I can't share it in the public, Brian, but if we can talk in the background, I'll take you on a tour. Because I've been doing this since 2008, and I've been hell on wheels in the state that I live since 2012.
And what state
I've had escorts for right to travel.
No, what state is it?
Arizona.
Okay.
I've had police escorts for right to travel with a private tag on my car.
Police escorts? I'm sorry, what? Does she mean that the police pulled her over for that when she says police escorts? I'm so confused. Hydrate.
I shut down CPS in Arizona.
Oh, I think I would have heard about that. I don't think that's true.
Taking my kids.
Oh, she's one of these ones. Okay. Some people get into sovereign citizen stuff because their kids are taken away for one reason or another. And, well, they don't like that. So they get into sovereign citizen ideology because they believe they can get their kids back using it.
I make police traffic stops just kind of stop and go away. And I can show all this in my record because
I'm trying to figure out if she's a grifter trying to pull away some of Chile's audience to her, or if she's actually this delusional. It's hard to say at this point.
I understand when you're in a position like you are with your following that you've got to be able to show and prove.
Can we do this? Can we why don't we have a live stream that's dedicated completely to this?
Trying to manage the caller. Yeah.
Brian, I promise you, sweetheart, they will kill your stream and they might even kill your channel.
Then why would you call in?
The last time that I got on a live, they killed the whole channel.
I'm sure that's the reason.
And I don't want that to happen to you, but I can give you guys bits and pieces out here.
And for the rest, join my website for the low, low price of $4.99 a month.
Now, you would not call yourself a sovereign citizen, right?
There's no such thing. That's an oxymoron.
Yes, you are correct. That's why it's kind of a funny term, is because it demonstrates the incompatibility of the nature of the worldview. But besides that, skeptics of sovereign citizens did not come up with the term sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens did, and then once they realized, oh no, people make fun of us, they started denying that they call themselves that. It's kind of like QAnon. They're like, there is no QAnon. There is Q and there are Anons. And it's like, nope. Nope. It was QAnon, and then you guys got embarrassed. Stop trying to fucking gaslight everyone.
You can't be a sovereign and a slave at the same time.
Right. Well, just tell me this. Tell me, what do you? I'm getting reverb, so maybe turn your. Can you put headphones in or anything?
Not sure. Let me try to turn my volume down a little bit and see if that helps.
I'm hearing my.
Who gets in a phone call like on the internet without putting headphones in?
Voice come back in a real muffled, kind of a really weird way.
I don't know if I can change that setting. Probably because
shut down CPS, but headphones are kind of a bitch. Harold Elbelman says, I hate to bring up or wish my occasional toxic childhood on anyone, but as my mother used to say, a request from one is authority. Oh wait, a request from one in authority is a command. If questioned, that authority would be backed by force, a steel and wooden ruler to the ass. I can't recommend it, but damn, it was educational about the nature of power and systems.
I'm out here talking.
Do we need to bring out Saki?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Is it really bad to where you can't hear at all?
Well, just when
She sounds like she's underwater. Mermaids can scam too.
Talk, I can hear like it sounds like I'm talking in a bathtub or something. But let me just say this: you have to understand that people would be concerned about not complying with somebody when you checked into a prison because they would think that things would go south on you real quick.
Well, it really depends on. Okay, let me say this. I think that the most important thing that everybody who wants to be free understands first and foremost is that in your record, you're a citizen and they do whatever they want to citizens.
Right. So you have to correct your status, correct?
Correct. And the way that they
sovereign citizen stuff
infiltrate your life is when you get a license, you get your learner's permit. That is a contract. That contract is going to continue and it's going to have a whole bunch of other contracts that tie into it. But they never tell you that, and they have to. It's
Is she familiar with the concept of an unconscionable contract?
Fraud if they don't. So your record and what they can look up and see about you.
Why didn't Scott Calvin bring that up? He was a corporate guy. Shouldn't he have looked at the Santa Claus and been like, this is an unconscionable contract? What's the guy's name? Elf guy who was in Numbers? Bernard. Bernard, this is an unconscionable contract. And Bernard should have been like, I'm an elf, I don't know the law.
Is what makes the difference between success and failure, even in a right to travel situation. If I get in my car, which tag has been expired for forever, it's got a $10 million private bond.
Yeah, the comments are funny. Person says, I promise you this woman will help Chile get out of jail. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. That's just a scare tactic that the government uses. She knows what she's talking about. She does not.
The Treasury on it. They do not bother me because they know who I am. If they look up my name, they see do not detain. They see don't.
Oh, she believes in the do not detain list, too. That's something Taquan is into. The do not detain list is a real thing, but it is not something you can randomly get put on. It's for informants or undercover cops. So if they're in the middle of a information gathering thing, if the cops show up, it goes like, hey, don't actually arrest this person. They're working for us. Holy shit, you idiot. You don't just get on it.
Question this person. They see leave them alone. They're not in our jurisdiction. And that is what is needed. But the way they gain jurisdiction over their citizens is through voters registration. That's
what if somebody's not registered to vote?
Then you're a lot more free than most people. They can't serve you.
But don't they do it?
They absolutely can. It might be a little harder to find your address, but they'll find you.
Don't they do it through licensing and through DMV and all that?
As long as they can find your address, they'll serve you.
If you get a license and you don't...
Also, not getting, like, being hard to find doesn't make something legal, right? That's like saying, I can rob a bank if I can get away with it. I mean, like, I guess, but, like, not really. That doesn't make it legal. That just makes you getting away with crimes.
Don't opt out when they ask you, do you want to be a voter? Or say you go for government benefits, you're trying to get food stamps, and there's a page, every communication they give you a page that says, do you want to register to vote? That, if you put it in a corporate aspect, which is what this
a lot of government websites probably have that.
Is, your name is your company. And when you put it in a corporate aspect,
Jupiter, thanks for following.
What they have to do, only a company can deal with another company. A company cannot deal with a flesh and blood human.
Yeah, you're talking about the legal fiction, right?
Right. And so
let me do that. Let me do this because I've got a lot of people in the background waiting, and I really want to talk more about this. But I think we should dedicate this.
The next guy's great.
To an actual live stream.
Visually.
Just a dedicated live stream.
Okay, that's fine with me. How can I reach out and contact you?
contact@highimpactflix.com. I'm going to put it in the chat.
If he actually has her on again,
okay, and I'll send you an email right now.
Okay, it's in the chat right now. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on board, lady.
No problem. I'm trying to do as much help as I can because it's really lonely here in the Republic. We can't even have a cookout.
What part of Arizona are you in?
I'd rather not say. I'm owed a lot of money in the state from government agencies, and
I'm sure that's what's happening. I'm sure the government owes you a lot of money, and that's why you don't want to say where you are. I'm sure it's not some other permutation of those words. I don't want anyone to know where I am. The government owes me a lot of money. Yeah, me too. What the fuck?
And I've had to hide myself.
I have to hide myself from them giving me money they owe me, for real, for sure.
Here, but I will say I'm in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a fee schedule thing.
Okay. All right, lady. Thank you for coming on board.
All right, I will definitely hit you up.
All right, thank you. All right, we got time for one more caller,
Here
and
he
we're
comes.
going to go
There
to
he
Jackboot Thug Pigs. What a great name.
Hey, what's up, Brian? This is Jackboot Thug Pigs. That is my YouTube channel. Anyway, enough of that.
Is it really your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's me. That's why I've got my Guy Fawkes on, and I actually do have the Guy Fawkes beard. Anyway, it ain't about me. It's about this horrible just us system that we're talking about today, and how it put Chile, a man who did nothing wrong, in jail for what, 6 months? Yeah, he's what, almost a month in now. I would imagine like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, something like that.
The real deal, Brian, is if you got money to hire a lawyer who knows the prosecutor.
Chile had money to hire a lawyer. You guys gave him a bunch of money. He had a lawyer. He picked his lawyer. He didn't have like a state attorney. He shopped for an attorney. He went and he hired an attorney. How is he blaming this on the state? Chile picked his attorney that you guys paid for.
And the judge, guess what?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fed up do you think the V for Vendetta guys are at every Tom, Dick, and Harry trying to hijack their symbol? They're probably just happier now that the Matrix is taking a lot of that shit for them. The red pill shit.
Things are going to go your way.
I'm sorry, Wachowskis. It's not your fault. It really isn't. Ugh.
Why?
See, they're making another Matrix movie? Oh, that's gonna be bad.
As long as you haven't killed anybody.
Say it again. If you got what's the lineup?
Part of me liked a lot of the stuff from Matrix 4 as like a meta commentary on remakes, but it was a terrible Matrix movie.
If you got a lawyer who knows, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna sort of take this off a little bit. If you got a lawyer who knows the prosecutor and
I'm just gonna watch the Animatrix again.
And the judge, you have a chance of getting some actual justice. But it's not really actual justice because you're paying for those connections. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The very first criminal case that I've ever had was a simple assault, and I hadn't even touched the guy. But because he said
assault doesn't require you to touch someone, that's battery. Assault is swinging your fist. Battery's it touching the face. Anonymous, thanks for gifting Starry Night a sub, and Terradona with 100 bits says you can always trust someone in a Guy Fawkes mask to have interesting beliefs. True. I have to pee real quick, so I'll be right back. Oh, Anonymous, thanks for gifting another sub. Ooh, hype train. Vest Demon, thanks for 400 bits and kicking off a hype train 75% to level 1 on the hype train. Thank you very much. And a hydrate. I can do that. Chat, have you considered that I look fucking adorable today? Just a thought. Also, my socks are comfy.
I did. That was enough for them to arrest me and throw me in jail. I got bailed out like 12 hours later because my people knew that I would never do such a thing. So they bailed me out. So we bring the discovery, which is the security cameras in the foyer of a certain retailer. Okay, here's the story. This guy was house security. And he grabbed my wife at the time, and I had no idea who he was.
Can you say what state it was?
It was Ohio.
Okay.
Ohio.
Boo, Ohio! Not for this reason, just in general.
Yeah. And so the deal was
the chair got you to buy Bitcoin. I gotta get a different chair. Toriador says, Hannah, you need to put a piece of lumber with a with the face on it in your seat when you get off screen. Then it can be a board man of the chair. Funny. Starry Beauty, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. It just makes me think of the Carrot Top movie, though.
Simple assault.
So you get minus comedy points for making me think of Carrot Top.
No, I
say that like I have any right with all the fucking stupid props I have. I'm like Carrot Top, but way less successful and funny. And if that's not the most depressing thing you've ever heard.
Touch the guy, right? So
you know what I appreciate about Carrot Top? He's transcended comedian and become comedy. I think that's when you know when you make it, when you're a punchline. Just your presence, just you existing is so funny that people can just say your name and it's a joke in and of itself. It's like joining the Speed Force. Constant Jaybird with 1,000 bits says, you are adorable today. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very generous. Thank you for the bits.
So in Discovery, they found this video, but the problem is, since it's already in the police report and the prosecutor
way less successful, way more funny. Thank you.
Taking the charges.
17% to level 3. In his defense, I have never created a piece of luggage that shoots dog biscuits, which is pretty good.
You have to have a lawyer who has enough juice, right, to talk to the prosecutor and the judge beforehand. If you got some schmuck who doesn't know anybody, you're probably going to have to go to jail. You know, and you know, the one thing that my criminal lawyer, I only had to use him ever twice. Thank God.
Give me
a criminal attorney or a criminal attorney. We talking Saul Goodman here, or Skifazoa says Chile's also a joke, but for different reasons.
Give me the charge. What was the charge again?
The charge was simple assault.
Simple assault against the security guard.
Right, against an ununiformed house security guard.
Okay.
Because I got in between him and my girlfriend and started yelling him down a little bit.
Right.
I'm 6'4", 6'3" when I don't stand up straight, 6'4" when I stand up straight.
Standard display name, thanks for 15 months.
But you never laid a hand on the guy, but he said you did?
I never.
Again, assault isn't the contact. It's the threat of contact. It's the assumption of force or aggression towards someone. At least that's my understanding. It may depend on the state.
Never touched the guy. Yeah, he showed up in court with a neck brace on. And my lawyer and the prosecutor were like, you can go ahead and take that off because we've seen the videos. You weren't even ever touched. But
I find that pretty hard to believe. I'm sick of the chili stuff.
I would not say 6 feet. I would definitely
for today, not in general.
I say at least 3 feet, but the point is he wanted him to move back.
Let me.
Right.
Okay. Enough of the legal PP show. So that's how Chili stuff has been going. I'm excited to see how he reacts to that, because we actually haven't seen Chili's reaction to having his thing canceled, to having his hearing canceled, so I am excited to hear what he has to say. I'm assuming he is not going to be thrilled about it, if I had to guess. But who knows? Who knows?
Let me.
Oh, this was the one he gave where he listed reasons that he shouldn't be in jail. I do want to hear this one before we move on.
It's
like
this is an
This is when he really starts to go in on the I've committed no crime because there's no victim thing.
This facility know that this is not a live stream and this is not a third-party phone call. I'm a journalist giving a report to another journalist, which is clearly outlined and allowed in the CCDC handbook. Today is April 8th, 2024. My name is Chile Castro. I am a journalist who has been jailed for filming a cop.
You were jailed for obstruction.
I did have a good day in court, and I was
Minute left on the hype
6
train.
months in jail. I have not broken the law. I've committed no criminal or malicious acts.
You did. You were found guilty. You were found guilty.
I'm an innocent man in the Clark County Detention Center for being a journalist. So with that being said, what's upcoming right now
Consonant
on Wednesday,
Jaybird.
the
Thank you for 100 bits.
of April is an appeal bond hearing to see if I can be released on appeal while I appeal the case to the Nevada State Supreme Court. I think that the case most definitely will be overturned, as you have seen, Brian.
Why in the world would you think any of this is going to be overturned? At no point have you demonstrated any reason to think that that's the case. Oh, and another 400 bits. Thank you very much. 53% to level 3. Little under a minute left.
From Here's the Deal has broken down my video.
You're wondering if he's starting to believe his stupid fiction. He might be getting delusional, more delusional. I don't disagree, actually. He has a big ego, and, like, he has a huge fear and anxiety of being locked up like this. Like, he has control anxiety. Like, when he doesn't have control, he freaks out. So I gotta imagine he's retreating into delusion in order to cope. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying that as a point of fact that I think he is, as a coping mechanism, in denial of the reality of the situation. He is still a grifter, but I do think he gets high on his own supply, you know? What color would you make comedy on the emotional spectrum? They're already called for, right? There's the blue, green, blue, yellow, orange, red, indigo. Are there any colors left? Black, white. I'd have to overlap. Vest Demon, thanks for gifting 600 bits. Thank you for the hype train, everyone.
Evidence, and I definitely backed up. I'm
Comedy's yellow. I hate the color yellow.
not guilty of obstruction, but I wanted to talk today about the reasons why I shouldn't release.
If I really had to pick, and it doesn't matter if it overlaps, it would probably seem some sort of neon lime green or orange. That feels comedic to me.
Appeal bond. So I wrote down 15 reasons, and I'll just list them to you guys so that you guys can have an understanding of what my lawyer is going to argue on Wednesday. Remember, this is not...
Didn't get to argue because the written stuff was enough. The judge was like, nope, not even wasting our time.
Not re-adjudicating the case about whether or not I backed up or whether or not I obstructed. This is about whether or not I'm worthy to be released on an appeal bond while my case is being appealed, and that appeal bond is going to cost between $10,000 and $20,000. So, as humbly as I can ask, please go to my GoFundMe, and if you can put in $5 or $10, I really appreciate it, because my website was down all week for 7 days now, so I haven't sold any products. I'm going to lower the hoodies to $50. You can get them by...
He's lowering the cost of the hoodies to $50. How much were you charging for hoodies? Chili, $50 for a hoodie. Okay, maybe, depending on the hoodie, but that's the discount price? What are you doing?
PayPal. I'm just trying to make sure I have enough money for the appeal bond that I'm going to get on Wednesday, and here are the
He did not get it. It did not happen.
reasons why I should get that appeal bond. Number one, I have no criminal record.
Yes, he does. He does have a criminal record. He has multiple misdemeanor charges. He has at least one felony charge that he pled down to a misdemeanor. He has misdemeanor stalking charges, at least one of those. He has a couple restraining orders against ex-girlfriends who claimed he was trying to murder them. You know, a criminal history.
This is a first-time offense. There's no criminality in my past, so that's the first one.
There's a whole website that just lists all of his criminal stuff. We went over it last week.
On this case, there's no victim, there's no damages, there's
no new audio from today, unfortunately. I was hoping he'd put it out sometime during streams. So far, I haven't seen anything.
No restitution due. Number 3, I've been jailed for almost a month, and there is no victim of a crime. I'm a journalist. So,
Chile, being a journalist doesn't exempt you from laws.
Number 4, my specific job is to be a First Amendment auditor. I do on-the-street reporting. I have regular face-to-face interactions with police, so...
And now you're in jail and have another charge for obstructing coming up soon. How's that working out? Seems like you're not doing things within the bounds of the rules as they exist.
They're going to call it police touches. Well, I have them week in and week out. Number 5, I had 6 full-time employees, and now I have 5. I had to let one go last week, and I'll have to let another one go this week if my website doesn't get back online. So my life and my company and my business should not be destroyed over a first-time misdemeanor. Number 6, the DA asked for a suspended sentence because I have no criminal record and this is a first-time offense. Number 7, I have no history of violence in my past of any kind ever.
Literally, the restraining orders we talked about said that you threatened to murder people and beat them up and hire a Colombian hitman. You like make weird, vague threats all the time too. It's been lesser recently, especially since you've been in jail. But all the time you'd be like, "I can beat you up, you beta male." Like you'd constantly do that.
No 911 calls on me. There's been no hospital bills. I've never hurt anybody ever. Number 8, my entire family lives here in Las Vegas. I have deep ties to the community, where I also assist in coaching youth wrestlers.
I hope that's not true. I don't think that's good.
Number 9.
I don't think Chile makes a good role model for kids. I don't think he should be a coach at all. I think that's a terrible idea.
As a First Amendment auditor, I have over 500 face-to-face interactions with police in over 20 states. So this is what I do. Number 10, I have a warrant in Ohio for trespassing during a peaceful protest.
No, it wasn't during a piece. We've seen this video before. Basically, Chile went into the city hall as it was closing, and he was like, "All right, I'm bringing all my people here. It's closing time, but we're all gonna come in. I'm gonna rent this place." And they're like, "We're not renting it out today. Like, if you want to rent this, like, there's a form you can fill out." And he's like, "No, we're coming down here right now." And they're like, "The building's closing. Like, you can be here till we close, but the lobby's about to close, so don't do that." And he's like, "No, everyone come down here right now." And then the lobby closed, and they're like, "Sir, you need to leave." And he was like, "I'm not leaving. This is our lobby. We're the people. We own it." And they're like, "Jose de Castro, you're not listening to us. You need to leave. You're trespassing." And he was still like, "No." And they're like, "All right, you're under arrest for criminal trespassing." And he shocked Pikachu-faced. This is what his job is. He gets in trouble so he can grift his audience. It's pathetic.
However, I ran out of money when in Ohio. I had to leave and come back to Vegas. However,
That's a weird way of saying fleeing from your misdemeanor charge.
hired an attorney in Ohio, and we're finally getting that.
Oh yeah, Fallout comes out tonight. Exciting. We'll either be happy or excited together, or disappointed together. We'll all go together when we go. We'll all burn together when we burn. Funny Higami says, "Have you seen the transcript from Elon's defamation deposition? The things he admitted to in court were hilarious. The plaintiff was represented by that lawyer that took down Jones in the Sandy Hook case. Now they're going after Elon's lawyer for the criminal behavior Elon had them engage in." I haven't. We gotta do a stream reading that. That's hilarious.
Warrant in Ohio handled.
TV show. The Fallout TV show is coming out tonight.
Number 11, I have a hearing coming in Goodsprings, Nevada,
Oh, I've been there. Nice little saloon.
for a U-turn ticket. The ticket was a retaliatory ticket after I pulled over to discuss first.
No, you did a U-turn where you weren't supposed to. We saw that video too, Chili. You can't just keep breaking the law and then being like, "I didn't do anything." Yes, you did. We saw it on camera.
First Amendment rights with the police. I've already paid the fee to fight the ticket that happens on April 23rd. Not a criminal act. It's a U-turn ticket. But the DA brought it up, so I want to reference it. Number 12, I have an audience of millions of people who I regularly teach to be nonviolent and to flex our First Amendment right to assembly, speech, petition, and press. And number 13, I am innocent until proven guilty because
you were found guilty! I know he's talking about the second charge, but goddamn.
I have another upcoming case on May 1st.
I'm innocent until proven guilty. Alright, what's his next thing? I want to get to other stuff. I want to get to the part where he compares himself to Nelson Mandela.
If we don't win the appeal bond on Wednesday, then I'll be in jail until July, until the Nevada
He'll be in jail at least until July. Hip hip hooray.
State Supreme Court hears the case or until the writ of habeas corpus is fully heard. So I'm very, very nervous. And if you want to do anything, please just donate $5 or $10. If, you know, whatever you have to donate if you can. And I know you guys have put in so much. I know that there's literally thousands and thousands of people rooting for me. And I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. You know, I'm not.
Well, I hope he's less nervous now that it got canceled.
Sleeping very much. I'm sleeping, you know, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and I keep waking up dreaming that my appeal bond went one way or the other, and I keep dreaming about my dog. And a very special friend to me gave me a quote the other day, and they said, from Nelson Mandela,
There it is! Goddamn, he thinks he's Nelson fucking Mandela! This is ridiculous. I don't even... Don't... Why? Why?
At jail, I left behind all the bitterness, resentment, anger right there at those jail doors. Because if I had not left them behind there, I would still be in prison today. And that's my mentality as well. I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna leave all this behind. I'm gonna forgive.
Chili, you were bitter and angry before you went into the jail. That's not how this works.
And I've needed to forgive some people for a long time because I was holding
Like your ex-girlfriends that you threatened to murder allegedly?
on the grudges,
Do you need to forgive them?
and I need to forgive some people, and I need to move forward, and I'm gonna forgive this, and I'm gonna move forward, and I'm gonna work on getting that NRS code removed that puts people who have misdemeanors in lockdown for 23 hours in a solitary confinement cell. You get a bunkmate, but it's hell.
It's a solitary confinement cell with another person. Did you hear that? Did you hear what this asshole just fucking said? Did you hear the gall of this fucking man to say, I'm in solitary, but you know, the kind where there's another person there? I hate this man. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. A solipsist is always alone. That's pretty good.
Oh, it's total hell. So that's what I'm gonna work on getting done, and I'm gonna work on positive change, and I'm gonna leave this bitter anger and resentment behind right here at the
I doubt it. I fucking doubt it.
doors the moment they close behind me, and I'm free again.
By solidarity. See, they both get put in solitary confinement, but it turns out there wasn't enough room, so there's only one bed. Oh, what's gonna happen? I'm sorry. That was a smut trope joke.
I get to hold my
There was
dog.
a Tumblr post I read recently about the trope of the people checking into a hotel, and there's only one bed.
Wrestle with my nephews and have dinner with my family, you know.
Yeah, because that's my question is, if you are innocent and you haven't created a victim, how many other people are locked
I think everyone here's a victim for having to spend days listening to this shit.
up behind bars who haven't created victims? There are a lot of people in prison right now and in jails all across the country that haven't committed a crime yet. They're behind bars.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of people in here who have completely victimless crimes. There's a guy
Who doesn't, Halloween Town? It's a classic for a reason.
less than 25 feet away from me. He's 20 feet away from me. He got pulled over and he had a blunt. He had a a blunt behind his ear.
Oh, the people he claims are innocent in here are crazy. Like the weed thing, sure. You shouldn't be doing that, though. Like, I don't think possession should be a crime, but I also recognize it is where it is. So if I was driving through a state where weed was illegal, possession, I absolutely would not have it behind my fucking ear or anything along those lines. Fucking hide it. What are you doing? There's no reason to have that there unless you're gonna smoke it. Just fucking stop. Jamie Lynn with 35 months says, this guy wouldn't make it. I swear, whatever, I'm almost to another baby. I think, like I said, I spent 40 days in the hole straight.
And when he got pulled over, he was completely sober.
1 more month.
But they confiscated the blunt and they gave him the DUI, and he's in here for DUI. There are about 10 men in here for domestic violence.
This is the list of people who he thinks are in here unjustifiably, if you didn't hear the beginning of this sentence.
Blunt behind his ear.
How he started this.
They're behind bars.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of people in here who have completely victimless crimes.
Victimless crimes, and then he lists a drug offense, which fair, and then after that, he lists fucking domestic abusers. What do I even say to that? That's self-evidently fucked.
What happened? And some of them said, she called 911 and I went to jail.
Oh, listen to his fucked up, what a story, Mark. Laugh at this, abuse thing. Check this out. This is so weird. This is such a, what's his name? The Room guy. This is such a him reaction where he's trying to have a human emotion, but he doesn't know the appropriate one to have. I keep wanting to say Tommy Tallarico, and it is not Tommy Tallarico. I'm fed up with this world.
Some of them told me we got in a
Tommy Wiseau, thank you.
pushing match, and she called 911 and I went to jail. One of them told me I smacked my wife.
What is that fucking laugh?
And I went to jail. One of them told me I smacked my wife.
I feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills.
So I don't endorse smacking your wife, that's for damn sure.
I don't endorse smacking your wife, but I'll laugh about it.
And then there are people in here who have misdemeanor cases.
Why did he laugh at that? Because he fucking hates women. If you've ever heard him talk about women, oh my god, Chile has some fucking issues.
That have been in here for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't know what the
What a story, Mark.
But I do wonder, I'm sure Brian can find out the information. I wonder how much it is to put a person, a human being. I don't call these people inmates. I call these people humans. I wonder how much it is to put a human in a bed here in the Clark County Detention Center. Yesterday in the Las Vegas Sun, there's a huge front page article.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Chili. Benikagami says, well, given how many people he doesn't think are real people, are we surprised wives and girlfriends aren't people and potential victims to him? It's so telling, and I don't know if he knows he's doing it. It's transparently gross.
That says the CCDC is not reporting deaths to the city council and to the commissioners like they're supposed to do. And
I like that he's just claiming this shit.
there's no teeth to enforce the law that was passed at the legislature. So that's scary as hell. But I hope and pray that I can just survive this.
He did not break the law. He did not.
This and pray for Wednesday.
Oh, hi, Chili.
Yeah, well, that's pretty shifty to me. I mean, there's no desire for accountability or transparency. Anything goes in the sky.
I just got back from the lawyer's office. I definitely have another misdemeanor charge.
The limit, and all you got to do is follow the money. If there's a money trail.
DM Trey says, people like this are always so insightful on exactly why do we need people whose job it is to remove these people from the public.
And if they're hiding it, that's pretty bad.
Well, you know, I don't think that the guards are actually killing people because there's...
I don't actually think the guards are killing people, is it? It's such an understated sentence.
cameras on all the sergeants. So I don't think, I mean, I think the way people are dying is the lack of giving them their medication. I think that's the number one way people are dying in here. I think people are dying in here from heart attacks and strokes. Remember, when I came in, they checked my blood pressure. You guys all know I got my blood pressure down to 135/85 consistently, day in and day out. Sometimes it was 132. A couple times it was 120/85/82. I got my blood pressure down by exercise, cutting salt, quitting caffeine, not having
All these auto captions are bad. Do they know you can go through and, like, edit the auto captions on apps like this to fix typos? Because you can, it's very easy. This is not a long enough video where they couldn't have done it. That's just lazy.
anything that could be bad for me. I cut sugar the most I could. Of course, I failed with the cookies now and then. But I got my blood pressure all the way down. When I came in, my blood pressure was 190/110 again. But no, I'm sorry, I think it was 180/100. Well, sorry, it was 180/99. That's what my blood pressure was when I came in. Because I do so many blood pressure readings, sometimes I get a little confused. And so the nurse looked at it and said, "You're 180/99. She said, "You have high blood pressure." I said, "Well, I used to." And then she said, "Well, that's not so bad considering the circumstances."
This is something that Chile is completely overlooking, and I'm not sure if he understands what she meant by that or not. She was expressing that, like, you're in a stressful situation right now. You've just been arrested and you are going to be in jail for 6 months. You're stressed out. And he's like, no, that doesn't matter. Literally, when I go to the doctor, they give me 2 blood pressure tests, one at the beginning and one at the end. Do you know why? Because I get stressed out when I go to the doctor, so my blood pressure goes up. But after the appointment's over, it goes back down. So they take the second one usually, because after the appointment, I'm chilled out. And that's at the doctor's office where I get to leave after my appointment's over, not jail where I'm going to be trapped for 6 months. Of course you were stressed out and your blood pressure was high. You had anxiety.
So then it just made me realize, you know that what you're doing to people stresses them out to stroke levels or heart attack levels. And for some reason, everybody here is okay with it. Everybody is okay with what you're doing here. Now, I've written out 25 pages by hand of my interpretation of segregation over incarceration. Because
Chile's whole thing, which is going to be incredible if he actually writes this stuff down and publishes it, he's writing what he claims is a better system, and basically he wants prison, but it's sort of Escape from New York or Arkham City. It's actually exactly Arkham City. He just wants to throw all the people who have been charged and found guilty of crimes in a walled-off, like, area where they can have their own little society, and he thinks everyone will just learn to function. And it's like, what? So, the Castro's basically Quincy Sharp, which is fun.
we spent 49
Penikagami says 135/85. Chile, that still wasn't good. And yeah, 180/99 is understandable in jail if low U is 135/85. The max is 120/90 to be considered healthy.
$1 billion a year on incarceration and over 50.
We tried that. We got Australia. Yeah. He's basically redescribing penal colonies, but he wants them to exist just as islands within the continental United States. Not literal islands, like, you know, little segregated areas. He wants to do Escape from New York. Hopefully not Escape from LA. Worst movie.
People recidivate and come back to jail. Could you imagine sending your dog to a dog training school and then it comes back and it bites even more people? And when people get out and they recidivate, what does that mean? That means that you, your family, your brother, your sister...
You have 1 minute left.
...is a victim of the person who recidivates. I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation, but you know what I'm talking about. So I wrote a 25-page essay on it yesterday on segregation over incarceration. And it's very in-depth. I'm going to publish the book when I get out of here. I've taken hundreds of perspectives that I think could make a system that doesn't have recidivation, where there's no more victims of crime. And that's my overall goal.
If you want to get rid of crime, you would need to get rid of the reasons crime exists, and often that reason is poverty, desperation, lack of education, lack of resources and opportunity. You're not just gonna fix it by fixing the jail. That's not how this shit works. Okay. I am going to urinate real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue with non-Chile related stuff. Cataspinda was finally, her house was finally foreclosed on because she refused to pay it because she thinks money isn't real. So we'll cover that when I get back. Be cool! Or else. Okay, so, if you haven't seen me cover Cataspinda before, she is a sovereign citizen, that falls on the gold bug, money is fake area of the Sovcit spectrum. So she basically has gotten into her head that money isn't real. So I'm sure you've heard libertarian gold bug types talking about how they think that fiat currency is bad and not a sound currency, and they want to go back to the gold or silver standard. She is like this, but to an extreme. She does not just think that fiat currency is bad, she thinks it is actively a fraud. She believes it is a trick and illegal, and she believes that she does not have to pay her mortgage because of this. She has tried to sue her bank, all with claims that money isn't real, so therefore I don't owe you money. That's, on the face of it, ridiculous, obviously, but I guess her house finally got foreclosed on, so that's sad. It's very sad, but not a situation where she couldn't afford it. This is a situation where she just got weird beliefs into her head.
All right, so it's 9:33 here on the 29th of March, 2024.
Isn't fiat in the US nearly a century old? I believe it was finally totally phased out under Nixon, but it had been moving that direction since the early mid-20th century. What was it, the 30s? It was a little bit after the Great Depression that the Fed and fiat currency came into circulation, but it's still the gold standard. Some gold currency and silver-based currency persisted until like the 70s, I think. It was just less common.
And we are just pulling into Kat's house where she has. Lincoln, do you want to speak to what's going on here today?
Well, I guess we have quite an exciting event. Supposedly, a sheriff.
This is not Cataspinda. This is a friend of hers who was filming on the way there. She is also a sovereign citizen type.
Foreclosure sale should be going on of fictitious APN number, so we will see how that goes.
All right, so we are here at Kat's house. I guess we're arriving now, close by, so we're going to pop out.
Oh, switching that to mono doesn't work. That didn't. Oh, that broke the whole thing. Shit. Let me fix that. I tried to change the audio, and that went badly. So let's try that again.
All right, so it's 9:33.
Foreclosure sale should
At the park, and we're doing some interviews, and then we're arriving, I guess, at 10:30. I'm sorry, at the courthouse steps. Is that where we're going?
That's right.
All right, so pulling in, got a rockin' Ford F-250 here. Looks like what year is that, Zach?
Oh, that has to be 90s, like 92, 93.
Absolutely beautiful. That's before they have the third door that folds out, and representing Scott McKay here. Patriot Street Fighter. So that's the latest from here as we pull into Cat's
Patriot Street Fighter.
house on a beautiful, beautiful day here. In the late odds of March. Some trails in the sky, but otherwise bright, sunny morning.
Children, this is Cataspinda with One New Earth, and welcome to my show. Earlier today, the People's Operation Restoration piece on the update of my foreclosure sale was released.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Also a beautiful.
Children, this is Cataspinda with One New Earth, and welcome to my show. Earlier today, the People's Operation Restoration piece on the update
Porp
of my foreclosure sale was
the Porp. Yeah, I was trying to get the acronym. The Porp.
Released, and so I wanted that to go out first.
It could have been worse. They could have called the People's Operation Restoration Group
first before I put any shows out. And I have some extra details.
Or the People's Operation Restoration Neighbors.
For you, so wanted to be able to go over that with you. But many of you who've been following my show, following my journey with regard to the foreclosure, I have been teaching people about the bank fraud, that the bank provides absolutely nothing for your loan or the credit that is provided by the Federal Reserve, and that is something that we are...
She doesn't seem to understand that in the transaction that's happening, the bank receives money from the Fed at a certain interest rate. When the Fed sets an interest rate, that's what they're talking about, is the interest rate for banks to borrow money to then lend out to customers at a higher interest rate, so the bank makes money and then it goes back to the Fed with the interest. She doesn't understand that. She thinks it's all fraudulent. She thinks it's just imaginary, and it is a social construct, don't get me wrong. Money and currency is a social construct, but it is an important one. It is an important social construct that exists for a reason that she doesn't seem to understand, and her lack of understanding has led her to believe that it is fraudulent, which is interesting.
Are trying to bring awareness to. Now, I've been fighting. I have gone through the affidavit of truth process.
Affidavits of truth aren't like a thing. If you want to make some sort of statement to the court, you need to actually go and testify so you can be questioned. You can't have unquestioned testimony that doesn't get crossed. That's not how this works.
I was in honor by giving them several opportunities to provide the information that I asked for, the proof of claims. They never rebutted.
You presume she still has somewhere to live, given her extensive wingnut contacts? I hope so. As much as, like, she's wrong, she's, how do we put this? I don't think she's, like, a bad person. I think she's ignorant and caught up in a delusion. So I think she needs help more than anything. It's unfortunate how she's unraveled her life through this. I'm not, like, getting joy out of it. It's fucked up, and I hope she gets help. But her support network is full of other people who believe these delusions, and that's not going to help her.
Any of my proof of claims. And an affidavit, you know, if people don't know, or if you're new to my show, the affidavit process comes from Babylonian banking days and it's extended for 6,000 years of our history. An affidavit.
She's kind of into QAnon stuff too, so it gets into this, she does get into this esoteric, ancient knowledge, Babylon type gobbledygook.
It is used in our court system all the time. And we can use the affidavit of truth process to get to the truth of the matter, because truth is sovereign. But we're not seeing truth in the court systems, with the, you know, with what's going on in our banking systems. It's all a ghost. There's no money. And so I want to...
There is, though, because it's traded for goods and services and to service debts. That's what a currency is. You can buy goods and services and service debts with it. It's a currency.
Explain that to you really quickly, and then we're going to get into it, into some of the footage. That...
Have I ever read Money by Terry Pratchett? Good book about the nature of finance and currency? No. Thanks for the recommendation.
I want you to see. It's literally a daylight robbery. And so I want to share some information with you. So my foreclosure sale date was March 29th. It was on a Friday. And so that was just, not too long ago, just a few days ago. And we had people actually come into my area to witness what is happening and to report on it. And they have some pretty good sized followings as well. We had Sheriff Lenka Coloma. She came out from California. She is the de jure constitutional sheriff of Orange County, California.
What do you mean, the de jure constitutional sheriff? You mean she calls herself a sheriff? She calls herself a sheriff. Listen, Kinko Biloba here can call herself whatever she wants, just like Marcel. He's not a judge, she's not a sheriff. You can't just call yourself things. That's not how they work. Sheriff is a social agreement. It's people recognizing authority and granting it to someone. It's not just a thing you can fucking say.
And she helped me go through the allodial title process. So as of today, it has met the 60-day mark, and I forever own the land until I pass it on to my heirs.
You don't, though. That was in the mortgage agreement you signed.
Or decide to sell it. But what that does is it detaches all government tentacles from your property, including property tax.
Is that an AI image? Kind of looks like an AI image, but I can't tell. I'm paranoid about it these days.
Taxes. And a lot of people say, well, don't you have to pay all your bills and your liens and everything?
Yes.
Well, I mean, don't forget that fraud vitiates everything.
Oh, that's interesting. That was a phrase that she picked up from QAnon and Stop the Steal Trump conspiracy stuff. I saw that all the time after the 2020 election. That was a big, what's the slogan that they were using? They were trying to basically say, like, hey, if there's fraud, no matter how far into the election process we get, Trump will be made president. Obviously didn't happen. There wasn't fraud. But she's borrowing that language and ideology here to basically say, yeah, sure, my house may have been foreclosed on, but no matter how far into the process we get, if there's fraud, I can get it back. It's basically her trying to say, I didn't lose. This didn't prove me wrong. The fraud just goes deeper than even I thought.
What are you going to pay with it? Debt?
Yeah. Yep. If you don't believe in money, give me all your money. Unironically, if you think money doesn't do anything for you, give me all your money. Like, what are you doing? Are you, like, she eats, right? Like, she eats food. So she must go and buy food sometimes, right? So she understands there's a utility to currency, right?
There is no money, it's all debt. And so we have to change our mindset, and
okay, you owe the bank a debt for the money they provided for the house that they got from the Fed. So pay that.
Start to really get the word out on what is happening. And at personal risk to myself, I have gone through all the way from A, and we're getting down to Z in the process, to challenge the bank, to bring my proof to court. And I did bring my proof to court.
Man, she really loves to compare this guy to the Hamburglar. I don't even think he looks like the Hamburglar. Maybe like a little, but like not enough to call him the Hamburglar.
With Judge Joseph Burrows.
Also, those are cheeseburgers. What is he, the cheeseburglar? Get your shit together, cat.
In Benton County, but he didn't want to look at the proof. And so, of course, I served Thomas.
Oh, also, I should point out his tie is a Freemason tie, so she's into conspiracies about Freemasons and stuff. She thinks that it's part of this whole, what she considers to be a fraud. It isn't.
Prosperi with an affidavit of truth that he never rebutted. He never even...
Wow, she really likes this McDonald's comparison. So it's just the height of, like, Gen X comedy? What is happening?
Contacted me on. And, if you're not going to rebut it, then it's tacit acquiescence. Silence.
Is Mayor McCheese involved in this? think I'll lose my faith in democracy if Mayor McCheese is involved. This is my Watergate.
Is guilt. Just like
Milkshake Gate.
the 2 large Rotties that were murdered by deputies in Benton County. Your silence.
Do not show video footage of this, you fucking lady. She didn't pay her mortgage and is getting foreclosed, so she's gonna show footage of dogs getting shot? What the fuck is her problem? Jesus. Skipping ahead past that shit, obviously. Asshole.
Situation here is when you sign the application for them to check your credit to make sure you...
Kat as a child, she's putting them at risk because of this shit, both at risk because this involves police and because it involves the stability of their home life. Oh, that's not good. Amber Pretzel says, to quote Homer's brain from that one episode where he wanted a peanut, money can be exchanged for goods and services. Report the video, it's on Rumble. This isn't on YouTube.
You qualify, well, that credit is for your CEST KV trust. Immediately, whether the home is purchased by you or not, they got the money for that through your trust. So it's been...
No, they didn't. Again, there's that sovereign citizen idea that you have a secret trust with a bunch of money in it. Not true.
Paid for once, and then you go through a month and a half of hoops, and you decide that you want to get a home, and then you end up signing their contract, the promissory note that like I said earlier.
Oh, she thinks contract is like con as in a con, like a con man. Tract as in a piece of land? Huh. Contract. It's like the shittiest episode of The Electric Club, or The Electric Company. Fuck. Contract. I feel like my jokes aren't made for the demographic I was born into. I feel like all my jokes are for people 20 years older than me.
Here, just the equal exchange of value. The Federal Reserve does a wire transfer along with many other people who are getting approved for credits on the same day. And in my case, Apple Community Credit Union.
Yes, and that bank has to pay that back to the Fed with interest. I don't understand. Just like you got a loan, they got a loan. Except you're paying interest higher than the interest they're paying. That's how it works. If you have, like, problems with that system, that's fine, but I at least wish you understood it and didn't just call it a fraud. It's not a fraud. Steve with a Q, thanks for 42 months.
Received $9 million+ on the day that my loan funded. And mine was like the $330,000 range. There was almost 30 people on this list. They crossed out all the names, but they left the total. So in other words, my bank got $9 million of free credits.
It was not free. Again, it is not free. They are paying interest on that, and they have to pay it back to the Fed.
Dispersed it to the title company because it went into each individual bank account of whoever applied for that.
This is the part she fundamentally doesn't get. She thinks this money is just being handed to the bank free of charge for nothing. No, there is interest applied. They have to pay it back.
And then all the bank did was push buttons.
The Electric Company was the first TV series to feature a live-action Spider-Man, and his greatest villain, The Wall.
Do a wire transfer, and then they sent the credit over to the title company. And then the title company pays the seller.
I really hope that in the next Spider-Verse movie, they run into the universe with the Electric Company Spider-Man. Just for a second. I think that would be cute. A nice homage to the first live-action Spider-Man.
I found all of this out doing an audit of my books with Apple Community Credit Union, and I have all the proof. And it shows that the money came from the Federal Reserve directly into my account as the originator of that credit. And then, like I said, they push those buttons and boom, it goes into the title company's coffers. So where then did the money come from? What consideration?
The Fed. The money came from the Fed with interest applied to the bank. The bank then charged you more interest. You give that money with interest back to the bank. They get a little money to make a profit. Then they pay that money that they owe with interest back to the Fed. It's the circulation of money. In and out. That's what it is. Holy shit. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Did the bank give? What consideration did Hapo give in my bank loan? They gave nothing. And they
gave you money at an interest rate that they also have to pay back to the Fed.
Nothing to all loans admitted by Chris Torres with Hapo Community Credit Union, Vice President of Asset Recovery. Not only did she admit it on a recorded line, but she had also admitted it on their Hapo Community Credit Union letterhead. And when I tried to take this information into the Benton County Justice Center, because they were trying to steal my car, because I stopped all payments. Because if they're committing
not theft. You, in fact, did the theft when you stopped paying because you had signed a contract. And this is so funny. Sovereign citizens are so big on, like, volunteerism, on everything being a contract. Kat, you signed a voluntary contract for your car loan and your home loan. You signed those contracts. There was nothing fraudulent in them. You just didn't understand them, and that's on you. Stop it. Stop acting like you are entitled to these things. You signed a contract and said, yeah, I'll pay this money back. God damn it.
And they can't prove they provided any money or that it came from their coffers.
The proof that they gave you money is the house you were living in and the car you received. How do you think you got those if it wasn't through the transfer of money?
Then that's what you call a white collar crime, because banking laws are broken and security exchange laws are broken there, because proof of consideration is a must. So where's that money that came from their coffers? There is none. There's not one.
Money is real because you can use it to service debts and buy and sell things. Again, it's a social construct, but it's an important one. It's not a fraud. Just because you don't understand abstracts.
Proven by my audit trail, and I read financial statements for about 20 plus years. I know how to look at a profit and loss statement, and
that's addition and subtraction. I know how to look at a profit and loss thing. Yeah, that's easy. It's easy. You take the losses away from the profits, and that gives you your net, your fucking net profit, your revenue. That's easy. That's not hard. Do you think that's hard? Ah!
NOI, ROI. I know how to do a balance sheet, a journal entry, and the banks merely take...
Excuse me, I understand macroeconomics. I've used QuickBooks.
Take the amount that they are basically passing through and pushing buttons to transfer over to the Federal Reserve. They are just adding it as an asset to the bank on the balance sheet.
No, it's a liability because they owe the Fed that money. You don't even have it right. There are two categories it could have gone into. It was a 50-50 random shot, and you're still wrong. Ashley One Up says, could this be a willful misunderstanding or a grift? I struggle to think someone can be this ignorant. Well, her house was foreclosed on, so if it's a grift, it's a bad one. Dillis Filler says, Cataspinda, this is a quote, Cataspinda is a former CEO of a successful property management company who woke up to the Matrix. She decided to retire from her 26-year career, and that's when it all went downhill. Oh my god! So she was... She was the head of a property management company and doesn't know how home loans work? I know that's not her job. She's not a real estate agent or a banker, I know. But that's still kind of frustrating. I feel like that's the kind of proximity to industry that gives you the false sense of confidence in your ability to understand something. I think the fact that she was in property management makes her think she knows more about this than she does because it is sort of tangentially related to homeownership or rental.
because it's not a true expense. It didn't come from their coffers. So that means the only way to get that onto the books and show that as an asset to the bank is to add it in as a journal entry. They got some CPA in the back, just all day adding journal entries. And guess what? Now you've agreed that they own your home or the APN number. It's just the APN number.
The only reason you have any claims to that property is because of the bank loan that you received that paid for the property, and you made an agreement that said, I will pay you back this mortgage, and if I do not, you will take the property. That is what you agreed to. You agreed to that and signed many, many papers. I own a home. I know how many fucking papers they make you sign. I have never signed my initials with a middle letter so often in my goddamn life.
Assessor's parcel number. That's it. And, you know, they tell you that you're going to buy this house and this beautiful yard and all these things, but that's bullcrap. The reason the assessor's office was created was so that they could charge us property taxes. And many of these property taxes haven't been around except for the last 100+ years.
100+ years is a long time, and believe it or not, it exists for a reason, because a bureaucratic state that keeps track of home ownership, properties, all of the paperwork and bureaucracy involved in that, and the transfers of like property from one person to another. There's a big backbone of bureaucracy to our civilization that so many people take for granted, and it frustrates me. Taxes for your house aren't going to like fuck someone over. They're not going to something you think is wasteful. It is literally part of how we have these things. The only way outside of a government to keep your property like that is to literally defend it at gunpoint. And I don't want to live in a society where people are trying to raid your house. Rule of law exists. Please stop.
Because in 1871, under the Organic Act, they created a separate government. And basically the seats back then were vacated, and there was a new government set up next door under the...
No, that was actually when they made D.C. the capital, I believe.
The Organic Act in 1877, it was ratified, and then they took over and they are actors, and they act as...
Well, that's not what act means in this case. Act means like a law, something passed by the legislature.
If they represent we the people. But during the forensic audit that was done on oaths of offices, we now know that all of the oath of offices are to the county, to the codes, to their positions. They do not swear an oath to we the people. They do not swear an oath to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. All they do is protect the banks, the insurance companies, and the corporations. And so what we saw, basically what happened was we had a powwow at my home. I'm sure that the deputy, sheriff department expected for me to be there and probably bring a group of people. They were definitely set up with people there. The auctioneer was just a process server going by the name of Timber. Now, at some point, his name was listed. I'm trying to still find his name. But he was very, very agitated by the cameras. And see, that's the thing, we have to start, recording stuff. They're doing robbery in the daylight, and they're using investors, people who are just merely investors, to buy at the very minimum amount possible, just enough to pay for the home and the liens and the taxes and the insurance and anything else that's on there.
Yes, the things that you said you would take care of, but you didn't. Correct.
And then they just leave you with nothing. So basically, there was everybody met at my home. We had a little powwow. Sheriff Lank was there. Richard Citizen Journal.
That's before they have the third.
And it was really great having them there as well. And so basically, we had a group of people, and I had invited a group of people to come to the home. And I didn't have as many as I wanted to. Just various things happened with some of the people that I invited, but that's okay. I think
we are here in the beautiful Kennewick, Washington, with Kat and Leica. How's it going today, ladies?
Good. How are you? Beautiful.
So could you tell us what we are up to today?
Well, I've been on a 1.5-year journey to fight the debt and the bank fraud that's been going on. I learned about that a few years ago when I got into becoming a child advocate here in Tri-Cities. And at that time, I was bond.
By child advocate, she means she's into QAnon, Save the Children stuff, not like actual advocacy for children. Night, Miss Hire.
For the win, and we learned at that time that all of the oaths of offices were not legitimate. They don't swear an oath to we, the people.
Do they have to?
They swear it to.
I feel like an oath to the office, to the code of conduct, probably involves that, if I had to guess. Also, oaths of office aren't magic words, for the record. Like, Trump swore an oath to office. You know what I mean? Like, you can just say stuff and then not follow it. Weird point of contention they're hung up on. I think it's sort of like in movies or TV shows, you find a loophole, a thing wasn't signed in the right place, and you go, aha, got him, and you win the case. I think that's what they're looking for, but in real life, it doesn't usually work that way.
To the county and to the codes and to their jobs. And in the meantime, we the people are getting hurt. We're getting our cars stolen, our homes stolen, when the banks provide absolutely nothing.
They provided the money to buy the house that you were living in until you got foreclosed on.
And now people don't know this. People think that the bank provides actual money.
They do. It's money that they get from the Fed. But that doesn't make it not money that they're giving you. It's money that they also have to pay back to the Fed.
But they don't. What they do is you fill out an application and they check your credit. And that's exactly the point in time where they actually pay off your home with your trust. And so
they do not.
You go through a 1.5 months of hoops. You have to sign all this paperwork. You sign the promissory note, which it has one signature on it. And what that means is that it's, so why is there not 2 signatures? 8 parts to a lawful contract. There must be 2 signatures on every single contract. And what the banks do is they take that promissory note and they make it becomes a securitized instrument. They sell it to the Federal Reserve for an equal exchange of value for digits. There's a wire transfer that goes from the Federal Reserve into your bank account as the originator. Then all the bank does is they push buttons and they transfer your credits that they just got from the Federal Reserve to the title company. And then,
ma'am, she's saying this like all of this bureaucratic stuff is like not worthy of being paid either. Ma'am, they're getting money from the Fed that they have to pay back. They're using money that either they already had, or in the case, I guess, of yours, that they got from the Fed, and paying it, but they still have to pay that money back. That is a liability that they have. They are paying that liability with your payments plus the interest, some of which gets taken as profit because it's a private company, presumably.
And the title company pays the seller. So there's this circle going around through the title company, and it's all fraud. And so what I have done is I have done the affidavit process. I have sent them my fee schedules. I've sent them my paperwork showing them the laws. And every single affidavit that I had sent out was unrebutted. And
that's not how this works. You don't just send random unsolicited paperwork and act like it has power. It does not.
Unrebutted affidavit is considered tacit acquiescence.
No, it isn't. Where did you learn that? Who told you that? It's a lie.
And truth in any court of law. But I tried to take it to federal court, and I sued my bank, Sheriff Croskery, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Andrew Clark, and their attorneys, sued them for $8.3 million in federal court. However, Attorney General Bob Ferguson got involved. Federal court, Joe Biden appointed Mary Dimke, squashed my case. So basically,
Joe Biden appointed.
What that means,
I'm sure that was relevant.
Is there really is no justice in our country. It's just us. That's it. It's just us.
You know it's true because it's wordplay, and wordplay can't lie to you.
We are the ones that need.
Believe me, I've tried.
To be the
just
voice
doesn't work.
For the people who are blind, conditioned, and have not been able to see because we've literally been born into this world and we didn't even realize that we were being, like Lenka says, bamboozled. So anyways, I invited people here today, and I thank you, everyone who has come and to witness the crime, because Sheriff Crosby has been notified with a notice of liability, and he didn't rebut it. So, you know, so we're going to find out what happens today with the sale. I'm taking it all the way. I'm not afraid. I believe that I am protected and that God is protecting me. And
wasn't protecting your house, apparently.
so we're just going to go, what we need to do.
Has she heard of the story of Job, by chance?
However, is to do things
might be relevant here.
Like this en masse, and that means that you ask for people that know you, who love you, who trust you, know that you're a person or a woman of integrity, and stand in those situations where we know they're coming against us and it's all fraud. So I just want to thank Lenka has helped me get the allodial title for my home, and I want to be able to explain that to her. So if I could pass this over to Lenka.
I feel bad for whoever buys her house, because they are going to get harassed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's very important for people to really know that when you buy
they
a
taught
house,
her wrong
you think
as a
that you're
joke.
actually buying the house, the property, the everything that comes along with it, but you actually don't. So it's a bait and switch. They show you this beautiful property, land, the house, the barbecue, the pool, the landscaping, and then they take you through the escrow process, and at the end of it, they spit out a deed, which is only color of title, and they basically turn you into a into a tenant on your own property.
The fuck was that?
And this is done.
Who brought their dogs? This is a serious meeting. Don't bring your dogs.
Through very clever trickery, where they basically taken surveyor's map, and they created an overlay, basically a copy of a map on top of it, and they took you into the fictional world. I call it the legal la la land, because that's truly what it is. Because we have to remember that we really do not have a government.
This is just the straw man stuff, but for your house.
It's a corporation.
This is literally just the same thing they do where they're like, my birth certificate is a straw man of me, except they're trying to do it to their real property by saying the deed to my house is a straw man for my real property.
And it tells you very clearly through their federal law, 28 USC 3002, section 15A, which tells you that United States is a federal corporation located in District of Columbia through UCC Article 9307.
Yeah, I gotta look more into Lenka.
Section 8. UCC stands for Uniform Commercial Code. Everything functions in commerce.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
Okay?
That only applies to certain things.
On contractual basis. And so when you read in that code, you will find out that United States is located in District of Columbia.
Nope.
So in order for them for this fictional entity called the United States to be able to speak to you, to be able to interact with you, they had to create another fiction through which they fool you into their federal territory. And the way how they do it is through the assessor's map. So that's the fictional map. That's basically, it's not fictional, the map is real, but it's a fictional world they take you into, and they create APN, or parcel number. And now you thought you are buying the land, the house, but you actually are buying an interest on their parcel, okay? So if you read your deed of trust, warranty deed, corporate deed, or...
1 second. What do they have at Taco Bell? 1 second. I haven't been to Taco Bell in a long time, and I'm being asked what I'd like from Taco Bell. This is important, chat. I swear. What are their sides? Okay, I'm good. Can we raid James Mansfield? We sure can. Copied.
Or whichever deed you have, you will find out that you are a tenant. And so literally when they do these foreclosures, so let's say that you pay off your mortgage, which was paid at the beginning when you signed the promissory note, but let's say that you do the 30 years, you pay second time on this alleged loan that never happened.
The loan happened, you signed it, that's what the contract was.
And let's say you get a disease, something horrible happens in your life, or you lose your job, and you can no longer pay the property taxes. Your house is paid off, and the county comes and takes your house to foreclosure.
Yeah, yep.
And it's happening on daily basis. It's been...
Taco Bell isn't food. I'm gonna eat it, so... That's a shame.
Happening now for generations, and people don't realize that they are kicking you from the parcel, from the fiction. They are not kicking you from the land, and yet people leave, right? Why? Because they don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know, and because they did not claim the land. So this is what we've done.
This is what frustrates me. If she doesn't want housing to be commodified, then she needs to say that. But that's not what she's saying. She's trying to say it's all magic, and if you use the right words, it'll just stop it. That's not how anything works.
With Ted, that we claimed the land. She claimed the land. And the way how we do it is through the land patent process, because the land patent is there. It's just sitting vacant.
Land patents are a way that sovereign citizens think that they can register their property without it actually being registered to the state. They're incorrect.
Abandoned. And what you have to do is you have to bring that land patent forward in your name. So you have to make a claim, because land can be only passed through heirs, through this title, which is the true title. That's the only title, and it basically gives you the superior ownership.
Okay, I'm skipping to the actual foreclosure auction. We'll see what that looked like.
It got a little heated.
It's not leaving this land. The land is hers, and here is the proof.
Didn't you know, out of 300,000 people?
Thank you. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Thanks everyone for being here.
Blanca got in trouble for illegal eviction of a tenant. That's hypocritical, isn't it?
Todd Jones. He was the former club owner here in town of Jack Diddley's. And wouldn't you know, out of 300,000 people, that guy is here? And here he is. So I'm going to show him right here. It's this guy. He actually bumped into our cameraman multiple times. It got a little heated. You know, there's passions are racing. People can see the truth of what's going on, the real truth. You know, not this fake reality, you know, it's not real reality, right? It's just fake. And these people, either they're blind or they don't see the truth. But here is this guy who is a, you know, investor, and he owned this club. And the reason his club got shut down was
COVID restrictions.
Because he had a bouncer who...
Sometimes you miss the shots you take.
Injured a man to the point where he ended up dying.
Oh, that's murder. At least probably manslaughter. Fenekagami says, this is a very complicated way to explain that government makes you follow rules that are sometimes weird and arbitrary with the threat of a gun. Yeah.
And he died, I think, a few years later. He didn't die right away, but on the body cam...
We have class consciousness at home. The class consciousness we have at home.
Footage, or on the footage, it was said that the bouncer was laughing. We all took a caravan. Me and my son were in the middle.
If I can put it in really a nutshell,
I guess I go.
I just want to see the foreclosure. Just let me see it, please.
I can't wait. What page was it again? 574?
Asked children's out on the people will judge, and all you bought was the news guys. They went to have lunch, and Richard and his friend Zach stayed with us. Well, so he was basically, they were staying with us, and within an hour of the auction, these guys show up and they're taping notices on my door.
Yes, because your house is foreclosed and they sold it. That sucks. It sucks a lot. It sucks a lot. But like, this happened not because this happened because you didn't pay. I feel genuinely bad for her, but holy shit, like, what do you think is happening? You need to get out of denial.
So I just walked straight out.
Oh good, you're gonna harass the new owners of the home. Great.
So I on the film, and it was streaming live, and I do have a Lodial title to this land, and all you bought was the APN number. So this is being, of course, recorded here.
They're like, hi, we're gonna tape this, okay.
I guess you know him, and yeah, and so just want to let you know that you're gonna have problems.
Good luck.
You're gonna have problems.
Okay. So.
And this will be all online.
Perfect.
We're going to be exposing see, there's bank fraud going on at Happel Community Credit Union, and
I hope that these guys were warned of her prior to this. Please tell me they were warned.
An $8.3 million lawsuit against Crossgree. Against Cross.
I'd just walk away. I mean, maybe I wouldn't just walk away because I'm a weird masochist when it comes to shit like this. Like, I will listen to the crazy all day. Just, yes, put it in my ears. But I feel like an average person should probably just walk away. Like, well, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help just standing here and listening to it. How long before she's arrested? Whenever they're gonna have to, I guarantee they're gonna end up having to, like, remove her from the home. Like, she does not seem like she is taking any of this seriously. It sucks.
Against Ken Hohenberg with Hapo because they're committing fraud. 100% of my loan came from the Federal Reserve. It didn't come from them. Banking laws require that you have proof of consideration. They provided no proof, and the federal judge squashed my case because they're all abetting in fraud together. So I just want to let you know, also there was $1 million lien put on this home about 3 days ago. So if you guys try to transfer it, yeah, did you guys do a title search? I hope so.
I think it's good if those guys are committing fraud. I think it's great that you're exposing it.
Yeah.
I think you guys are angry at the wrong people. You
No.
know, just to be quite honest with you. You know,
He's
so
doing his best. He's doing his best. He's doing this best.
Angry.
I mean,
I hope these two lovely men have a wonderful life together in this home and don't have to deal with too much from this lady. Because oh my god, the faces, they're trying so hard to be nice.
I'm not angry. I'm just trying to expose the fraud.
Sure.
And
But what I mean
you
is
guys.
Sure, okay, but like, you have 30 days now. Please do what you need to do, ma'am.
Are buying homes because 1 million homes per year. People are kicked out of their homes and the banks provide $0, nothing. So this is a slavery
Banks did provide money. That's why you had the house at one point.
system, and you guys are participating by buying off of the backs of people who are misfortunate, right? They can roll someone out and 80 years old onto the street because they could own.
You're not 80.
Own the home outright.
Why are you comparing this to a different situation than this one is?
Because of property taxes, they can steal their home, oxygen mask, children's out on the street, and this is
Yes, you need to pay your property taxes, correct?
happening
You know you could have had that escrowed in, right? Or did you already pay off the entire house and you just weren't paying the property taxes? That'd be pretty foolish too.
every day in this country. It's a slavery system, and I have a Lodial title. You can look on the corners of my property. I posted it. It's been legal notice for 60
I wrote papers and I put them on the corners of my property, so it counts.
days. Nobody rebutted it. No one rebutted it. And so I'm just letting you know. I mean, I was somebody here. I was a CEO in this area for a long time. I've been doing business in this town for 26 years. I've read.
Sounds like you're not destitute then and just made an actual, like, you made a proactive decision to ruin your life, and that sucks.
Financial statements. I have the proof of fraud from, and if you'd like to watch my show, I actually expose all.
It looks like a McMansion. It looks like it's got I don't know if this is like a load-bearing thing here. The thing that looks like it's bad fake rock. This is giving me McMansion vibes.
Proof online. So everybody in this world, we have people from Washington, D.C., who has actually traveled all the way over here to just make sure that you guys are getting exposed for what you are doing. Yeah.
Anyways, what I was saying.
And also, you hit one of.
Oh my God! He's wearing a suit. Okay, sorry, I didn't expect the other guy to be there looking like that. Okay.
The guys that was recording. Why did you do that?
He's down volume assault
No,
charges.
literally that was on
tape.
video. That was literally on video. You guys.
I do think seriously though.
Yeah.
I think it's, if you feel like you're being done wrong, I think it's great that you're.
Oh, he's trying. He's trying. Not worth it. Not worth it. This guy's husband, grab him. He's not. He's trying to be kind, but Cat is erratic. Grab him, please.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I do, but I think that you guys are lashing. Not you.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah.
Lashing out at the wrong people. That's what I'm just saying.
Who's the right people? Ken
To lash
November
out at?
with Hapo? I already did.
What you had mentioned, that if someone did that to me, that's who I would be lashing out at.
I already did. So $8.3 million lawsuit that you didn't hear about because the Tri-City
I
Herald
wonder if they're gay or just friends. I'm pinging.
doesn't report on truth.
Yeah.
They don't report the truth.
No,
So-
and I agree with you.
Okay,
on
well
that.
then there you go. See, I sent
agree
them my
they don't.
$8.3 million lawsuit like 4 months ago, but did you see it in the paper? No, you didn't.
I agree. All I'm saying is that Jared's not the bad guy here.
But
they're the buyers. They're the buyers.
You guys were both bidding on this house, correct? Both of you?
They don't work for the bank.
No, just me.
Just you?
Yeah, you didn't, and then there.
Oh, okay, maybe they're not together.
You were just kind of, yeah.
Anyway,
I got a vibe. I thought they were cute together. That's my bad.
all I'm trying to say is that Jared's not the bad guy here. And I agree with you. If somebody's doing you wrong, if the bank is doing you wrong, I agree. Go after him.
No, we
100%.
did. See-
Maybe this is their meet cute. Maybe this is the day that they met, and this defense is what's going to bring them together.
We live in a crooked system with crooked judges. Joseph Burrows ignored all of my bank fraud.
Oh, there's
so
the
what does that mean?
Hamburglar
So if you have
again.
a crooked
Love that guy.
judge, right? And then he puts out a crooked order to have this house go under when I provided all the proof that the bank provided $0, which breaks banking laws and security exchange laws. But see, look what they're doing to Trump. This is a
Look what they're doing to Trump. I'm Dirk Gently. Everything is connected. Everything is connected.
crooked system. They're doing it to him. They're doing it to me.
It's
And they're doing it
absolute-
to 1 million people a year when the banks provide $0. So this is a movement of the people. The taxes are closing in on the people.
Marcus Drake says, I refuse to believe they're not raw dogging relentlessly in every room of this woman's former house. How else do you break in a new house? Diogenes42, thanks for a 2-month streak.
The middle class is getting forced out.
Ma'am, you're not the middle class. You are a CEO, and you live in, like, what looks like a gated community. Like, that person's backyard back there has a gate. Do you see that? Do you see the giant fucking gate this person has to their... Like, you're not the middle class. Whatever that even fucking means.
People like you are buying homes with certified debt because it's not even cash. There's no money. It's all debt.
Okay, well, I gave them money, and they're giving me this house, so I think I'm okay with that transaction.
I agree. There's corruption all over the world.
Yeah.
There is a ton of corruption. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
gentlemen.
Have a great day. But I have a low deal title of this home, so I will be here. So,
For a bit.
we're just trying to get to the truth of the matter. But the truth doesn't matter
Janie, thanks for 31 months.
in our court systems at all. Not at all. And so if you're going to ask me to go through the court systems to fight it and to fight the banks, well, that's not really a great idea when they're all crooked. And especially
Well, you're telling me to go through to fight the banks, and I won't win that, so I'd rather fight you. Fenekagami says, does she think that cops, bankers, HOAs, and IRS are demons or ghosts? Like, all you have to do is put up a ward in the form of a Sobsit BS and they can't touch your house? Yes. Yes, they do believe that. Harold Elboman, what do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary for you? A Lodial title? I'll look. I'm not sure if that's a Sobsit thing or something that was an actual thing that they adopted, but I'll look.
When you guys are protected, it was obvious just by that guy waving the cops over, like, come save us, come save us. We bumped into this guy, but we need you to come save us. And you guys are smiling there, saying we're just good guys. Well, but that's not what I'm hearing. So, I mean, I hope you are, but from just your smug, icky smile.
A Lodial, free, not holden of any lord or superior, owned without obligation or vassalage or fealty, the opposite of feudal. So when she says she has an Lodial title, she says, I made a piece of paper that says, I own this, and the government and the police and Jesus can't tell me anything about it. She's basically saying, I wrote a piece of paper that says I can do whatever I want.
I mean, it was almost evil. Look, the eyes tell it all, because you think you know better. I was in your business for years, decades, okay? I was in the investment field. I did all that, CEO of my own company, and I left a
excited to eat Taco Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell in a while. That's a nice surprise.
thriving career to get into the fight for the children, to get, because of all of this craziness with the vaccinations and the masks.
She's an anti-vaxxer too, still bitching about masks in mid-2024. Jesus Christ.
But see, you got this sect of Republicans out there who are pushing the coronavirus and the COVID-19 and the masks and the vaccines. It's by design. And maybe they don't even realize it, but they're being used as puppets, and they're being allowed to, have all this money to use certified funds and keep this gravy train going on the backs of people who are suffering. And then they call themselves many times Christians, but they don't see a problem with seeing a grandmother, a grandfather on oxygen tank being rolled out into the street.
You're a Trump supporter, so I'm not going to listen to you at all trying to espouse some sort of, idealized Christian love. Go fuck yourself on that one.
On their wheelchair, into the cold, children, people who've lost their income due to the economy, doubling, tripling taxes, which is happening right now. But you guys got the Chardonnay life, right? And so you can bring in those certified credits from the Federal Reserve.
It's funny how you can find, kind of regardless of the belief system, in every meta-narrative that I cover on this channel, actual, problems with our economic and political systems do come into play. People do recognize there's some sort of bedrock or miasma of class consciousness at play, but it just isn't, it's not syncing up. They're all it's still kind of in this weird, not in focus, things are bad. Kind of interesting.
It's not even money, it's debt. Because if we're $34 trillion in debt, and they print that and they create those digits right then and there, those digits never existed before, well then, that's the system that you choose to hurt people in for money. And this is not the world that God intended us to live in. He intended us to live. God intended
me to sign a loan agreement for a home in a gated neighborhood that I never intended to pay. He told me himself.
To live in honor, integrity, and in truth and love. That we are all brothers and sisters in this world. But there are people right now who they don't even realize the role they're playing. They are playing a role, and they're getting paid well to do it. And they are our city councilmen, our county commissioners, our governors. These people, they are not able to stand up for we the people because they didn't take an oath of office to us. And so I don't know what's going to happen. It's a journey, right? This is the time to walk by faith and not by sight. Whether they just decide that they're going to leave me alone and allow me to stay on this land because
there's not even a 0.001% chance that's happening. She is still in denial. She has been given notice. This was 5 days ago, so she probably has like 25 days left before she gets forcibly removed from her house. Which is going to be awful and depressing.
My land.
Because as much as, again, she frustrates me and I don't think I like her as a person, I don't think anyone should be without a place to live. No one deserves that. That's fucked up. I'm not saying she deserves to stay in the house that she effectively stole, but she sucks that she's gonna have to probably ride some couches for a while.
And I don't want to be forced off of my land that I lawfully own. Okay?
But you don't lawfully own it. There was a whole legal process to show that that's not the case. You don't. Just saying it doesn't make it true. You're wrong.
So but if for some reason that happens, you've already seen the backlash. This has been going on for over like almost a year now. And Sheriff Crosby, you have to stop running. You know, I don't see you at any meetings.
Hey, Bird Scout.
You weren't at the sheriff's sale. Aren't you the sheriff? There weren't even, other than the deputy sheriffs who came out because it was starting to get...
You think the actual sheriff shows up to every function? No.
A little heated because of your investor brothers that were there. We, the people, are tired of being slaves in the slavery system that doesn't work for us. It's taxation without representation.
You can vote? What the fuck are you talking about? That's not even what that phrase means. She's just saying stuff.
And what are people going to think when they find out that the banks provide nothing? That is the message that I'm getting out to you now. And if you're struggling, if you can't feed your children healthy food, if you can't pay your if you're trying to figure out between whether you pay the gas bill or the electric bill.
Why are you paying any bills? It's all fake money anyway. It's not even being consistent.
If you're trying to figure out if you're going to leave your child behind a locked key and door because you can't afford daycare, then you gotta wake up.
Depending on the age of your kid, latchkey kids, it's fine. Like, I understand if they're like a little kid, but like, your kid can be alone in the house. They're fine.
To the fact that
depends on the age.
This system was created.
I don't know, what, 12 and up? It's probably around when I was allowed to be in the house kind of alone by myself, was around 12-ish.
To keep you distracted so that you never find out the truth of who you really are. The land is sitting abundant. All you have to do is claim your land and get a lodial title, and it will
lodial title isn't a thing.
Detach the fiction from what is real. Private property versus real property. Okay? So the private property.
I straight up thought she was going to say private property versus personal property, and I was going to be like, oh boy, we got to get... Nope. We're good.
That's unencumbered. No one can trespass on private property without permission. And that's why certain people are going to be getting notices about that. And they are going, and like I said to them, that they're going to have problems. They're going to have issues.
You are the one having problems. They are fine.
Going to lay down. They're going to start getting noticed. And we're going to start exercising the commercial lien process here. You know, if these people, and I've already gotten started with the sheriff, the deputy prosecuting attorney, with the judge. I've got multi-millions of dollars worth of security instruments in my hands right now. So expect a bill.
Wow, that's impressive. You probably should have used those to pay for your house instead of getting foreclosed on.
From me, everyone. Bills are coming. Bills are coming. And
why? What are you going to pay them with? Do you want them to pay you with money? Money is worthless. It's not real money. You already said that. Why would you send people bills? That's a debt. How do you expect them to pay that debt? With dirty fiat currency?
You know, we, the people, are going to start turning on to you what you have been doing to us. And if you're going to continue to bulldoze against me, and you're going to hurt me, harm me, my son, and my animals, my family, and my possessions, which I own, and possession, by the way, is 9/10 of the law.
Then she's heard that somewhere, so she thinks it applies here.
You got to realize that we will stand in the truth, and we will record everything, good or bad. We will make sure we get all FOIA request, all cam footage, and we will expose you more and more. And you're going to become famous because more and more people are starting to hear about this story. We had Richard from Washington, D.C. out here. We had Sheriff Lanka from California. We had the news crew came from Arizona, you know, and then we had—
These are all other sovereign citizen types.
A lot of people. I had neighbors there. I had family there.
I mean, there were probably neighbors there who were like either bummed out or gawking.
I had
love a good gawk.
Children there.
Black's Law Dictionary request. Ashern, what do you want me to look up?
Okay. I am not a liar. I am not trying to skirt my responsibilities. I am only seeking the truth. And the truth of the matter is that the truth does not matter in our system.
I'll accept that wordplay.
If you are
real property
or someone with the truth, they are going to want to squash you. But if we all rise up together and start to challenge the banks and say, you know what, until you can prove to me, show me my wet signature.
Show me my wet signature.
They can't, because they sold.
What is wrong with me?
Sold it to the Federal Reserve. If you ask for it, they only have a color copy. That is gone with the wind. Okay, gone with the wind. They needed your DNA on there. It's satanic.
Your DNA? Wow, it is a wet signature, isn't it? Hold on. Real property. We're almost there. Land and anything permanently affixed to the land, such as buildings, fences, those things attached to buildings, light fixtures, plumbing, heating fixtures, or other such items which would be personal property if not attached. The term is generally synonymous with real property. This was under real estate. So basically house shit. Your house, the property, everything on the property that's actually affixed to the structure.
This Babylonian banking system is a satanic system.
Oh, my neck hurts.
And it's been enslaving the people for a very long time. But with everything going on right now in the world, I believe this is the end times. But it's not the end times for us. It's the end times for them. Because they have, you know, Satan has been the ruler of this world, and he has duped us into thinking we were right about things, and now we are finding out we were very wrong. It didn't matter if you were Republican or Democrat. I find a lot of the Democrats that I knew and me were all pulling together in the exact same place because we're finding out what the truth is. We see our lie, what was, you know, lied to us. You know, we were lied to in a very serious way. And now that we know the truth, we can know.
Satanic, there goes the sensation of the pan-galactic gargle blaster.
Longer life.
Pterodona says, what do you mean by wet cat? Wet ink? Wet noodle? No, too far.
To ourselves, because
I should have read that before I started reading it.
If we keep
that's not even innuendo. That's just saying a gross thing.
I don't want to be, I'm afraid. I don't want to challenge anything. I'm just going to pay all my bills and do all this.
You gave me bits for it, though, so it's fine.
It's all fraud. If we keep doing that, our grandchildren don't have a shot. They don't have a shot, okay?
I mean, you fucked up your kid's life, so I think that one personally is on you.
We have to...
She's a Trump voter, by the way. Very concerned about her children's future.
To do this for them. Generation Z is completely captured and mesmerized and hypnotized by iPads and phones. And they're weakened by the 75 vaccinations that they get by the time they're 5 years old. They don't have a chance. They'll be weakened. They'll be afraid and scared. And by that point, there'll be so many more millions of rules. All those chains, the chains in your mind, those invisible chains. Our children will be so chained up in fear, they won't be able to fight back.
The youths don't agree with my political positions, so they must have been brainwashed. Okay.
They won't even dream of a revolution. So would you join me?
Boy, you haven't talked to a lot of Gen Z people, have you?
In becoming part of a movement to save the world. We need people with courage who are willing to stand up and to show the truth. To get these cameras out, if you are in a public space, you have the right to have your camera videoing. Don't let them bully you and tell you to turn it off. Bring people with you anytime you go anywhere. Bring a lot of people with you. Make sure that you're recording. Get it on the record. Get it uploaded as proof.
I'm going to skip to the end.
We need 3. This cat is...
Are we in Washington State? You guys know where the Easter Bunny is? The Easter Bunny. Where's the Easter Bunny? Right there? All right, we have 8 minutes. Where are we? Are we in Washington State?
Yeah.
What's the name of this town?
This is Kenwick.
Kenwick. And what's today's date?
30th. March.
The 30th of March. What year? 24. Excellent. Let's go find the Easter Bunny. I can see it right here. Ooh. I love the Easter Bunny.
That's a white rabbit costume from Alice in Wonderland. I don't think that looks like the Easter Bunny at all. Maybe that's just splitting hairs. I'm embarrassed by how funny I am sometimes.
Do you like sparkles?
It truly is a gift and a curse.
Do you like glitter? I have something for you. Get closer. You want some? Is this your color? Hey. Is that enough? Where do you want it? On the ears?
Don't put stuff on this costume. That's gonna come out. Okay. I don't even know what this is for.
You want another color? Okay.
Pat's the one filming this.
You want some cologne?
This just feels very I'm the main character. Wasn't there a line forming? Did they just skip to the front? It's a dick move. Alright. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Fun day today. I'll be back tomorrow for something or other. Guess we'll find out what. Depends on what I'm feeling. Oh yeah, I was asked to do a specific raid. Who was it? Let's see. James Mansfield. Can do. Have a great night, everyone. Love you, Mr. Blast. I will see y'all tomorrow. Roughly same bat time, same bat channel. And, have a great night. Adios. Adios. Bye-bye. Hey, and here's the good news. Chile